liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that our dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has taught us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun, let us march on till victory. Let us march on till victory. Let us march on till victory is won. Is won. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ava. If we can get a quick board photo with her before she...
Have that an autograph?
Yeah. February 27th.
27th. February 27th.
6:30 in Kennedy High
Take
School.
that.
The Board of Trustees now reconvenes the meeting at 6 p.m. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance and moment of silence by our Board of Trustees Student Representative, Leah Garcia.
Please rise. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Thank you so much to everyone who's here today. It's very nice to see you all. And to begin this meeting, I would like to take a moment of silence to think about and reflect on the meaning of love, not just as a feeling, but how we portray it in our actions. I would like you to reflect on the small things that you do each day to express love to those around you by offering encouragement, checking up on friends, and showing patience to those around you. I would also like you to reflect on how you show love to yourself when you take time in the rush of the moment to make sure that you're okay and that you take time to rest and to breathe and to bring yourself peace. So please reflect in this time how you can move forward with love in your life. And remember that the only thing more powerful than hate is love. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Leah. We will now have our closed session report out by our clerk of the Board of Trustees, Ms. Anne-Marie Roundtree.
Thank you, Madam President. Item 4.1, no reportable action taken regarding public employee performance evaluation superintendent. 4.2, no reportable action taken regarding negotiations. And 4.3, no reportable action taken regarding personnel. That's the end of the report.
Thank you. And we will move on to our recognitions for tonight. If the board can please join us in the center for more fun.
More fun.
Our first recognition tonight is to Seed Church. Seed Church calls the Kennedy High School campus their home for weekend services and shares a deep sense of gratitude for this partnership. As a tangible expression of that appreciation, they have reached out to the district with an incredible gesture of neighborly support by donating $11,000 to Kennedy High School. This donation of $11,000 has specifically gathered by the congregation, which includes many proud Kennedy High School alumni. Their hope is that these funds will support and encourage the student body in whatever way is most helpful to the school's mission. On behalf of the Board of Trustees and the district, I want to express our sincere thanks to Pastor Chung and the entire Seed Church family. It is truly inspiring to see alumni and local partners invest directly back into the next generation. This generous gift will go a long way in supporting our students' needs and programs, and thank you for your generosity and for being such a vital part of the Kennedy High community. So we'd love to present a certificate to Associate Pastor Andy Chung. All right, moving on to our athletics recognitions. Tonight, we are honoring two of our girls' sports team. So I'm going to start off with the Anaheim High School girls flag football champions. Yes. Definitely a big night for girls' sports. We proudly recognize the Anaheim High School girls flag football team for their outstanding achievement. The team captured the Coast League Championship and continued an impressive postseason run to become CIF Division V champions. This CIF divisional title represents a significant milestone as it was earned in just the third year of the program's excellence. And I want to thank Coach Vince Gomez for all of his leadership towards the team. The team secured its first divisional championship with the divisive 32-6 victory over Casatic at El Mirada High School. Throughout the 5-game playoff tournament, Anaheim High School outscored its opponents by an average of 23 points per game. Ashley Guzman was honored as Player of the Year for their exceptional performance during the season. On behalf of the AUHSD Board of Trustees, also as a proud alumni at Anaheim High School, I want to congratulate the players and coaching staff of the 2025 Girls High School flag football team and invite any of the players in the audience to please join us for a photo, as well as our coaches. And the coaches, if they'd like to join us, or the principal, if you'd like to join us. All right, our next recognition goes to the girls volleyball champions at Cypress High School. Woo! We are proud to recognize the Cypress High School girls volleyball team for its outstanding athletic achievement. The team earned the Crestview League Championship during an exceptional season. Cypress went on to win the CIF Southern Sectional Division III Championship, marking the second CIF title in the program's history. For their outstanding performance, Isabella Faro was named CIF Division III Player of the Year. Head coach Alex Griffiths was named CIF Division III Coach of the Year and was also honored as the Orange County Register's Girls Volleyball Coach of the Year. The team continued its postseason success by capturing the CIF Southern California Division II Championship. Then, Cypress High School then secured the CIF State Division II Championship with a 3-0 victory over Clovis West. This victory represents the first state championship won by any athletic team in Cypress High School history. The board proudly recognizes its players and coaching staff for such an incredible achievement and making us proud across our school sites on girls sports. So thank you so much for being here tonight. If you please like to join us for a photo and any of the coaches in the audience. Thank you. That is it, yes. Right.
That's quite an accomplishment for both schools.
To go to state.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. We will now have our student representatives report by our Board of Trustee representative, Leah Garcia.
Hello again. So to begin with Anaheim, there was a very major accomplishment as the William A. Kirk Auditorium was reopened. And for those of you who were there, it was a very, very amazing experience. And even our Congressman Lou Carrera went, and it was a very awesome experience to be able to join with the community on a momentous occasion. And we can see here that they also had many other very exciting events like Club Rush and the Winter Sports Pep Rally. Next, at CVA, with the help of the CVA staff and students, they created vision boards, which is a very, very special occasion because, as you know, Cambridge Virtual Academy doesn't always meet in person. So this was a time for all the students to get to know each other in person. They also had a serve-a-thon that brought together students, staff, and families so that they could have hands-on projects to support the community, and this supported the 5 C's with compassion and collaboration. At Kennedy High School, on January 21st, the Kennedy Open House and Expo Showcase was held, and students, and parents, and community members were able to explore Kennedy's innovative, diverse, and vibrant programs. They were able to meet with the dedicated staff and the different departments and see firsthand the achievements of Kennedy High School's achievements and student body. Next, at Catella, they had a very powerful month of impact with a league champion girls wrestling, very inclusive ASB events, a life-saving blood drive, 24 plus clubs showcased at the 2-day club rush, strong family engagement through open house and the community resource fair, and an RZP summit too, which all schools had an RZP second summit. Next at Loera High School had Loera Gives Back Week, which was a collaborative, fun event for the clubs, ASB, staff, and students. The class senates gave free snacks out every single morning, and the clubs had lunch activities that offered community service. On Friday, Best Buddies held a district-wide basketball tournament where they all contributed to welcoming 500 students on their campus, ranging from band, cheer, clubs, ASB, and more. And on Saturday, the students continued the Zen Garden Community Service Project brought by the National Honor Society. And then more pictures for you. Next, at Magnolia, in collaboration with Savannah's ASB, they hosted the Banda Night on the 24th of January, which was a very huge hit with a taco truck, a live band, and a student performances. There's also a karaoke room. This is the second year of this event after debuting the idea in 2025, so it was very exciting to have lots of people show up and also be able to work with Savannah hand in hand. They also had Club Rush. Next, at Oxford Academy, Oxford's FBLA secured second place overall at the FBLA Southern Section Conference. That's its 15th year straight in the top 2, with more than 100 competitors and top 10 finishes in nearly every event. Next, at Savannah, again, they would like to celebrate their collaboration with Magnolia for the Banda Night that they held and celebrating how culture unites all. Last but not least, at Orangeview Western, they celebrated the opening of their new community school center, the wellness space, and the Pio patio at their Saturday ribbon cutting ceremony. Through these delightful spaces, OWV will continue to foster deep connections and support their students' well-being, creating an impact that will last for generations. They also had several exciting events in their elementary showcase. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your report. I would now like to take the time to recognize some of the folks in the room. First, we have our ASTA President, Jeff Morgenstern. Thank you for being here. Our APGA Co-President, Lacey Munger. Thank you for being here. Alta President, Jennifer Sasai. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Fullerton Joint Trustee, Lauren Klaxker. Thank you for being here. And ROP, Liliana Hofstadter. Thank you for being here. I think that's it. Okay. Moving on to our student speakers. I'd like to call up Haley Sotelo. Yes.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Haley Sotelo, and right now I'm a current sophomore at Savannah and former Brookers student. I'm here today to speak to you all about my experience at Brookers Junior High and how it continues to impact me today. As a former student, I had a great experience, better than good, and I learned much from my teachers. I had the opportunity to get involved in my school and take part in shared decision making, something that I still do today but would not have been able to do if not for my school. Brookhurst is a good school, but it's often overlooked, especially in funding. Some examples are at the Brookhurst gym. Since I was there, and now that my sister is playing volleyball there, the gym has stayed the same. It continues to not have AC compared to other schools. Brookhurst has also not had the opportunity for a redesign. These are fundamental things that impact a student's learning. The students at Brookhurst deserve better facilities and should be given the opportunity to learn in an environment that is safe and up to date. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker is Ileana Sotelo.
Good evening, board members. My name is Eliana Sotelo, and I attend Brookhurst Junior High. Brookhurst is a great school with amazing teachers, but our school desperately needs maintenance, especially in our gym. As a young athlete, I can say it gets very humid and has a strong smell. School assemblies are difficult to enjoy because the gym gets humid and it begins to have a sticky feel to it. It feels like the air gets thick, and for kids like myself who have severe asthma, it becomes a health concern. I'm asking you to please help us and to give our gym the maintenance it deserves and to invest in the students of today. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Santiago Peralta.
Good evening, board members. My name is Santiago Peralta. I go to Brookhurst Junior High School. I'm an 8th grader. I'm in AVID and in the GLLA program. And I'm here today to speak about all the achievements, but also issues that my school has. When I first arrived at Brookhurst, I was a little frightened. But once I got the hang of everything, I finally saw how great this school was and how overlooked it was. I've built strong friendships, and I've joined clubs and organizations that have helped me grow as leader. I'm in the Spartan Senate, which gives the power to change things in the school campus to the students. I also serve on the Community School Site Council. I am the 8th grade representative. This year, we've made real big progress. For example, last year, we suspended about 30 kids. This year, that number has dropped to around 3. That shows that Brookhurst is improving and that students are making better choices. However, even with all of these positive changes, there are still areas that we need support in. One major concern is our gym. Many junior highs in our district have had remodeled gyms with working air conditioning, but Brookhurst does not. When students are playing sports or attending events, the heat can be really uncomfortable. It makes everything hard to focus, perform, and enjoy school events. The bleachers are also a bit uncomfortable, especially during games and when there's people inside. Another serious issue is the restroom situation. For boys, there is a small restroom problem. This creates overcrowding and discomfort in a space that's supposed to be private. In addition, the vaping situation in the bathrooms is a major problem. Some students go in there to vape or do things they are not supposed to. This threatens student safety by exposing others to harmful substances and creating an unsafe environment. Brookhurst is already improving, and we are proud of our progress. But with your support, we can continue moving forward with our school. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you. We will now have our reports by our associations. We'll have ASTA President Jeff Morgenstern first, please.
Before Mr. Morgenstern comes up, I just wanted to thank our students. We really appreciate you coming up here. We value you, and we hear what you're telling us, so thank you. I know it's a little intimidating sometimes, but you did a great job. Bravo.
Yes, thank you.
And as a former Spartan of 24 years, I wholeheartedly support those students.
Yes.
All right, I realized tonight when I was putting together my remarks that I wasn't here in January, and so I wanted to make sure I got a few new titles correct, and so I double checked. So good evening, Board President Guerrero, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Freed, Cabinet, colleagues and community here in the boardroom and also online. I'd first like to share my deep appreciation for trustees Guerrero, Hoshi, Magalas for coming to the ASTA Rep Assembly. It can be a bit of a hot seat, but they were willing to do it and share their vision of what they think a board member should be and the role that they want to fulfill, as well as answer questions. So very much appreciate the opportunity to come. And for trustees Ronald Trejo and O'Neill, the invitation is still out there for you if you like, okay? As we know, February is Black History Month. I want to acknowledge the many efforts of our Anaheim Union teachers who support our students to think critically in examining our true history as we are guiding our students in civic engagement to help all of us create a more racially and socially just society. It is February and it is the time of the year when the calendar begins to pick up some speed, right? We're already halfway through the third quarter. Schools are beginning their master schedule planning for 26-27. We're about to enjoy our second 3-day weekend, right? Gotta love the presidents. Well, the past presidents, right? And LCAP season is underway. Okay? And I want to share that I've received a lot of positive feedback and the transformation that's happening during LCAP. It is a process and it'll continue to evolve in the years to come. And we appreciate as an association to co-create that process with all of our educational partners. It was amazing to see students leading sessions along with community members. I appreciated the opportunity to address LCAP on the first night and share all of the successes that we had around the We Can't Wait campaign. And really creating those classroom learning environments for the well-being of our students. If you've kind of watched the news recently, you know that across the state, various teacher unions have gone on strike or are on strike or about to go on strike. San Francisco is currently in its 4th day of a strike. United Teachers of Richmond went out for 4 days. San Diego hasn't authorized, Los Angeles, as well as Natomas, Twin Rivers, Oakland's gonna be voting. And I say this one because Anaheim Secondary Teachers Association will always stand up for our CTA siblings and support them in the actions they feel is they need to do. But I also wanna highlight the path that we've taken here in Anaheim Union. Thanks to a lot of people in this room, through a lot of hard work and collaboration and cooperation and a lot of conversations over many, many months, we really can set that example of what true cooperation between education, labor, and management can look like. And look forward to many years of that to continue. And I really feel that in the months to come, we'll be in a unique position to provide that example and that leadership across the state of what others can achieve and aspire to as well. And so happy to work with all of you in that process. Sorry, I had to print out. I started writing it and then I realized I had to type it because it was just too much. So, all right. On behalf of ASTA, I'd like to share our appreciation to the cabinet and the board for its commitment to staff our West Side schools with the hiring of our community school teacher leads and our community school coordinators. I think it's a very powerful message that we stand united as a community schools district and that we could share in that work across the district and face those questions of transformation, of sustainability together. When it's an all-hands approach, I think that's the best way to go. So we very much appreciate, and on behalf of the Community School Steering Committee, that you listened to our recommendation and agreed to fund those positions for 2 years. So we very much appreciate that. I think our community schools approach here in Anaheim does really reflect that pillar of collaborative leadership. These positions are co-created and co-interviewed, and we look forward to having 10 new people in their positions for next school year. We'll be hosting our next Community Schools Learning Lab up on 24th or 25th of February. Just a little bit of a highlight, 23 teachers from AUHSD are gonna come and spend 2 days with us to learn how we do instruction here in Anaheim Union, specifically around whole child instruction and community-based learning. And so I think that just speaks to what we're able to accomplish together in promoting the work that we do here. And lastly, I want to finish up on a Prop 55 update. Hopefully you've heard about Proposition 55, the renewal of it. If it does not pass, and we're working hard to qualify it for the ballot, it would mean about a $15 billion in cuts across California. $50 million here in Anaheim Union, potentially jeopardizing 1 in 6 employees of public schools. So it makes sense for all of us to be part of that effort. I want to give a quick shout out to our friends at CSEA who have been joining ASTA in collecting signatures of our members in order to qualify for the ballot. I do have petitions here. If you have not, if you're a registered voter, whether you live in Orange County or LA County, Riverside County, it doesn't matter, and you'd like to sign the petition to help us in joining the community and getting this qualified for the ballot so that we can continue to fund our schools to the level that our students in our community deserve. So I thank you, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jeff, one question.
I'll be right in the back.
What site will the community school, you said the 24th and 25th you're hosting again?
So we're going to be, it's here at the district office
Okay.
On day one, and then at the ASTA office on day two.
Oh, okay.
The specific sites they are visiting, I don't know if...
Dr. Free.
Dale and Magnolia.
Dale Junior High and Magnolia. Yeah, Centralia Elementary is now going to be a part, so their elementary school will be visited.
Okay, thank you.
We've had a high demand for visiting elementary schools, so we partner with Centralia. Yeah. Thank you, Carlos, for the update.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Thank you. We now have APGA Co-President Lacey Munger.
Good evening, President Guerrero, members of the board, Superintendent Freed, Executive Cabinet, and community members. Last week, school counselors across the country were recognized during National School Counseling Week, and our AUHSD counselors were no exception. Even though a single week cannot capture the impact of a counselor's work, the acknowledgement always feels good, so thank you. On behalf of APGA, we do want to thank our schools, our district leaders, community, and board members for recognizing our counselors. We had a few board members come out and see their counselors on site, and they really appreciated that, so thank you. And to our counselors, if you are listening, thank you for the work that you do every day for our students. A well-deserved shout out goes to Veronica Alvarez from Savannah High School. She was AUHSD's 25-26 Counselor of the Year that we celebrated a couple of weeks ago. I think it's important to start with the staff and students who nominated her did not describe her by listing the tasks or programs that she does every single day. Instead, they described how she makes people feel. And some of the statements about her were things such as, she's a safe space, kind, caring, and consistently supportive. She keeps students accountable while making sure they never feel alone, and she always does it with humor. Veronica reflects what counseling looks like at its best. We connect first, and then we give direction to our students. On January 30th, counselors, social workers, and wellness coaches trained together in motivational interviewing, which is really a simple idea, but it's powerful. Because instead of telling a student what to do, we help students hear themselves. We ask questions and help students recognize their own strengths and reasons for change. So when a student comes into somebody's office and says, I'm failing, the response is not a lecture, which is what sometimes we want to do, but instead it becomes a, tell me what's been getting in the way in order to make you feel, in order for you to be successful. Or when a student says, college isn't for me, our response can be, what do you see yourself doing after high school? Through that process, students begin setting their own goals, and this matters because attendance, academics, and mental health are a lasting change that happens when students feel understood and not managed. You can see this work happening right now with us in counseling. Our counselors are guiding students through course selection for the 26-27 school year this month, helping them choose classes based on their strengths, interests, and aspirations. And for seniors, counselors are supporting students and families through the FAFSA and DREAM Act applications. And last month I told you we'd have some numbers available for you. And currently, district-wide, 48% of our seniors have already completed an application. So they've submitted it and completed it. So we're about halfway there, with many more in progress. Even though that's a number, I think what's important to note is that number, what's behind that, is all the meetings, the phone calls with families, and classroom support, and the conversations that help students see a path forward after high school. And in light of everything that's been going on in our community, we do recognize as counseling that there is some fear as to what information they provide families, or they provide FAFSA just based on social security numbers, that type of thing. And we are doing that with care and with support of our families and their concerns always. Our counseling work is also gaining attention beyond AUHSD. Last week, our two counselors on special assignment presented at the Orange County Counselor Symposium on our Universal Assets and Needs Survey and the system that we are building around it. The presentation showed that counselors are not just collecting the data, but we're using it to design our lessons, identify needs, and respond to student voice. Participants in that in the session were impressed not only that over 22,000 students responded, but that we had a follow-up with students and parents to explain supports and how to access them. Everybody in that room could not believe that it was district-wide, quite honestly. And every time we have presented something from our district and how we do things district-wide, the question always is, how are you doing that? And how do you explain the system? Because that's what it's really about. The follow-through reflects the intentional systems AUHSD has built, and so that student voice leads to the action that we're presenting. What all of this continues to show is that counseling is not a single program or event. And as you know, we're just kind of involved in everything, and that's what I'm trying to show this month. It is an ongoing system of support for students and families. We listen, we respond, we connect students to opportunities while helping the district understand what students actually need. And we're doing that also with surrounding districts as well. So we can appreciate your continued support of this work. We'll see you next month. Thank you.
Thank you. We have ALTA President Jennifer Sasai.
Good evening, Madam President Guerrero, members of the Board of Trustees, Superintendent Freed, Executive Cabinet, students, families, and members of our Anaheim Union community. It is a pleasure tonight to share several highlights from across our district. At Sycamore Junior High School, Choir Director Jana Jones has spent the past year and a half thoughtfully building the vocal music pathway in partnership with the Anaheim Elementary School District, where no formal elementary choral program previously existed. Students now have structured opportunities to discover and develop their voices. Through intentional outreach, meaningful relationships, and performance opportunities, more than 25 elementary school students participated in a December concert and were later invited to perform at the AUHSD board meeting in January to help kick off the new year. These milestones represent more than performances. They mark the launch of a sustainable foundation that will strengthen the vocal music at Sycamore and across the district for years to come. It has also been a very exciting season in the Saxon community. On February 3rd, Loera High School welcomed 8th graders from Ball Junior High for the launch to Loera, offering campus tours, a vibrant sports and club fair, and a spirited pep assembly featuring the band, color guard, and cheer team. This week celebrates Loera's Love Week from February 10th through 13th, bringing students together through themed spirit days that highlight connection and school pride. At the same time, Loera's winter athletes are shining in boys soccer, boys basketball, and girls basketball advanced into CIF playoffs, proudly representing their school on the competitive stage. Orangeview Western extends sincere appreciation to the board and district leadership for supporting the grand opening of 3 new spaces on campus: the Wellness Center, the Pio Patio, and the Community Schools Room. These spaces are already making meaningful differences. The Wellness Center alone recorded nearly 600 student check-ins during the first semester, thanks to the leadership of the social workers and the support of the counselors and school psychologists who keep the space open before school, after school, and throughout the day. Meanwhile, their athletic teams are competing in CIF championships, traveling as far as Catalina Island, Sherman Oaks, Pasadena, and Rosemead, with bringing the hopes of playoff action back home. In a true reflection of the growing 7th through 12th identity, their 8th grade students participated in the first time in voting for next year's high school cabinet, demonstrating that civic engagement begins early. They also invite the board to save the date for March 17th for the Orangeview Western's open house. A formal invitation will follow. Magnolia High School was honored with the OCDE Impact Design. Representatives from the Orange County Department of Education visited twice to meet with staff and students during the January visit and presented the school with a commemorative banner. This recognition highlights the powerful impact of MAC and its positive influence on the entire school community. Finally, on January 22nd, 2026, Cypress High School hosted the Jaron Duran Community Foundation Mental Health Masterclass launch, welcoming alumnus Jaron Duran of the Boston Red Sox back on campus as a mentor and mental health advocate. Jaron openly shared his personal journey, modeling resilience, help-seeking, and positive self-talk in a way that deeply resonated with the students. The event blended intentional wellness conversations with hands-on, creative activities that fostered connection and joy. Most importantly, the students left feeling seen, supported, and reminded that well-being matters. Additionally, Cypress High School has earned the Green Ribbon School Gold level recognition, celebrating the outstanding work of their students and staff in sustaining wellness and environmental leadership. This honor highlights hands-on through our green tech engineering pathway, cross-curricular innovation, and student-led projects addressing real-world environmental challenges. It reflects Cypress High School's commitment to learning by doing and creating healthier, more sustainable futures for our schools and community. Across the district, these achievements reflect vision, dedication, and shared commitment to excellence. Thank you for your continued support of our students and schools.
Thank you. We now have our Parent-Teacher Student Association report. I know I saw Laura Allen. Did you want to speak or you? Yes, welcome.
I just wanted to announce that we have a bingo night coming up Wednesday from 6 to 8:30 in the La Palma room here, and everybody's invited. And then on March 11th, we have the 4th District dinner. It's $60 a person at Knott's Berry Farm from 5:30 to 9. And then we have April 15th, we have the secondary PTA HSA Awards dinner. It's $35 a person, and it's here in the La Palma room. And I want to thank you guys for all your support.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. And now we have a request to move up item 11.11, which is resolution number 2025, National Athletic Trainer Month.
So move.
Second.
Second. Thank you. And I know we have a few athletic trainers in the room. So if there's any comments or questions. 11.11.
Thank you.
And Jeff Rester, our athletic director for the district, is here as well.
I would just like to say, as a parent of a former student who played soccer and volleyball, I was so happy that the athletic trainers were there on campus. She did get hurt one time. She needed them, but they were not just athletic trainers. They were another adult that the students could look up to. They knew the students. They even knew like their positions. They really make an effort to get to know the students at the campuses, and they're really watching the game, and they're really paying attention. When my daughter got hurt and the athletic trainer was like, "Oh, you did really good at that game," and they had a really great conversation. So I commend the trainers. I commend the job that they do. It's not just a job to them. It's really a commitment to the students, and I know they're there because they really care about students. They could be doing other things. So thank you for the opportunity to allow me to say that. I've never said that out loud. And then just one more thing. When my daughter came back to Oxford, the same athletic trainer was there, and they remembered each other. So, I mean, is that a great story? Okay.
Yes.
So, thank you for letting me indulge in that conversation.
I want to echo that too. And you know, the thing is that, you know, we usually think of them as just like treating injured students, but actually they're there to prevent injuries and by the way they tape and so forth. And I see one of our trainers in the audience right now, and she in turn is doing a junior high school like sports for intramurals and for all the sports at Oxford too. So I just want to applaud like the long hours, the thankless long hours that our athletic trainers put in. We thank you.
Yes. And with that, we want to do a roll call vote, and then we could take a photo with our athletic directors that
Can
are
I
here.
say one
Oh,
thing?
yes, Mr. O'Neill.
Oh, thank you.
Go ahead.
My son is an orthopedic surgeon, and he deals with the trainers on the collegiate level. So we talk, and he recognizes how important they are, not only in the high school level, but in future sports, meaning advanced sports after they leave high school. So much appreciated. I've talked to many trainers on my open house evenings, and I appreciate what they do. So thank you.
Yes, and I know some of you have CIF games and other games that you have to go right now. So thank you. Appreciate you all for being here tonight.
Hold on, Madam President.
Yes.
Since
I was
everyone
gonna see
shared
if anyone
something,
has any
as a
comments.
former wrestler at Loera High School, I just want to share. It's just, I never got injured, but it was just great to know that you were there, right? That, you know,
good
you were
to hear.
there in case I did get injured. And yeah, I'm grateful. I know a lot of our students are and our families are, so thank you so much.
Good support.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Yes, round of applause. All right. With that, Trustee O'Neill?
Aye.
Trustee McCauliffe?
Hey, vote.
Trustee McCauliffe?
Aye.
Trustee Hoshi?
Aye.
Trustee Randall Trejo?
Aye.
And I vote aye. That's a 5-0. All right. And then I'd like to welcome you to the front. Take a photo.
How many of them? Oh, nice.
Ah. You go swimming?
That was.
It's so cool that they were here.
I know. All right, and we have another request to move up item number 11.11. I know our attorney Terry Tao is here. So
Yep.
11.1, sorry.
Oh, 11.1.
11.1. That is resolution number 2025, authorization of resolution declaring intent to consider proposals to redevelop Hope School.
So moved. Second.
Thank you. And at this time, I'll take any questions or comments from the board.
Hi, Terry. How are
Hi,
you?
everybody.
Yes.
How are you?
Welcome.
I just wanted to really quickly, let's see, is it not on?
I think it's on, yeah.
It's on.
I just
Yes,
really wanted
you
to
can share a little
quickly
bit.
let you know that we are on schedule. We had a wonderful meeting today with the city of Buena Park. The folks over there emphasized to us how much they are looking forward to working with us. They actually suggested that they would come to our pre-submittal meeting with some of these developers, show their support for the project. They had some helpful suggestions. We're incorporating those into the document that's being prepared right now.
Excellent. Are there any questions or discussions?
I didn't have any questions. Thank you for providing our timeline, because we have so many things that come before us, so I just needed an update to remember where we were, where we're headed. And this resolution was to kind of, it's another step to kind of get the ball rolling.
That is right.
And so the meeting today was very valuable so that we can communicate and hear the needs of our community.
Yeah, so it was a wonderful meeting. They were very helpful. They made quite a few suggestions. We're making the proposal more in line with what it is that everybody would want to see.
Thank you. Yes, appreciate you working with the city of Buena Park to get their recommendations as well. So I do propose that we table this resolution until the next meeting to give staff more time to consider some of the points from the city and the school district together, if that's
Okay.
good.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you so much, Terry.
Thank you, Terry.
Thank you, Terry.
All right, moving back up to our presentation tonight, LCAP mid-year update for 2025 through 2026. And I want to invite our Assistant Superintendent of Ed Services, Amy Kwan, to introduce our presenters.
So I want to give a shout out to Jeff Morgenstern as he started off his remarks talking about the bold shifts that we made with our LCAP process, not only the writing of the LCAP, but the way we've been engaging with our community and getting input on the LCAP. And so I'm so proud to present our Executive Director, Robert Saldivar, and Dr. Seema Sudu, who will give our mid-year LCAP update.
This is working? Okay. Good evening, Madam President Guerrero, members of the board, all of our cabinet members, Superintendent Dr. Freed, everyone here in person and watching at home. It is my pleasure to be here tonight to provide a mid-year update on our Local Control and Accountability Plan, or LCAP. Before I present the data, I want to acknowledge the foundation laid by our board and cabinet. Your leadership ensures an engaging LCAP process where every educational partner's voice has the opportunity to be elevated and heard. I also want to recognize Mr. Saldivar for his dedication to revamping our LCAP process. His efforts have ensured that our work is deeply rooted in the equity transformation cycle, allowing us to listen, uncover, reimagine, and move with purpose. We are grateful for his hard work and commitment to improving how we engage with our community. Also, special thanks to Mr. Carlos Hernandez and his team for supporting the revisioning work of the LCAP process and helping us embed the community schools approach into our LCAP educational partner engagement process. I also want to thank Dr. Adam Hernandez, our Director of Student Support Services, for his vital contributions to LCAP Goal 3 and this presentation tonight. Dr. Hernandez provides the district-wide stability, overseeing complex safety protocols, and essential partnerships with our school resource officers, campus safety aides, and community partnerships. The community schools approach and his steadfast leadership, along with our district leadership, helps ensure a secure and welcoming environment for every student, parent, caregiver, and staff member. The LCAP is our district's 3-year strategic roadmap, which we update annually to ensure we remain responsive to our students' needs. This document explicitly outlines our district-wide goals, actions, services, and expenditures for the academic year. At its core, the LCAP is designed to drive positive student outcomes while addressing both state and local priorities. The LCAP process is more than just a requirement. It is our primary opportunity to share the how, what, and why behind the programs and services we select to meet our district's needs. In AUHSD, we utilize this process as a continuous improvement process throughout the year. We don't just look at academic performance data, we also analyze district indicators and gather direct feedback from our educational partners whose insight are vital for assessing our program's effectiveness. Tonight, I will be highlighting mid-year data that was not yet available during our LCAP adoption last June, as well as real-time data we've captured throughout the fall of this school year. We are currently in year 2 of our 3-year cycle. We officially kicked off our 2026 engagement process on January 22nd. Despite the rain and current events impacting our community, we had an incredible turnout of about 300 participants or attendees. This speaks volumes about the commitment of our families, and Mr. Saldivar will share more details regarding this year's engagement process and our upcoming timeline toward the end of tonight's presentation. To provide you with further context on this evening's report, it is important to note the regulatory requirements behind this presentation. So under Section 6.1 of Senate Bill 114, all districts are required to present a mid-year update on their LCAP. And they must do this by February 28th, so we are right on target. Per these requirements, our report tonight includes 2 specific components. First, all available mid-year outcome data related to our metrics as identified in our LCAP, and then an update on our mid-year expenditures for the actions outlined in the plan. The purpose of tonight's presentation is to provide you with a concise update, tried to make it as concise as possible, on these metrics and fiscal expenditures to ensure transparency and alignment with our goals. So just a quick overview. Goal 1 centers on academic excellence through the whole child approach. We aim to ensure all students with special attention to our low-income, foster youth, and English learners or plurilingual students are prepared for college, career, and life. We achieve this by fostering the 21st century skills, elevating youth voice, and providing technical training. Goal 2 utilizes the community schools approach. Here, our focus is on co-creating, like Mr. Morgenstern alluded to earlier, culturally and linguistically responsive opportunities for our parents and families. By empowering them to advocate for the assets and needs of our students, we create a stronger support system for our most at-promise students and all of our students. Goal 3 is dedicated to our school culture. We strive to provide a safe, positive, and inclusive environment that is responsive to the needs of our students. Like our first 2 goals, this work is intentionally designed to support the well-being of our low-income, foster youth, and plurilingual students. While these goals are distinct, they work together to ensure every student in AUHSD has the support they need to thrive. Before we move into the data, I want to take a moment to express our gratitude to everyone who participated in and promoted the LCAP survey. A special thanks goes to our FACES, our site principals and teachers, our staff, who were instrumental in encouraging our community to share their voices. This year, about 17,620 students completed the survey. Most notably, we saw an increase in participation across the student groups, as you can see on the slide. While this remains a work in progress, it is a significant achievement, and we have officially surpassed our participation numbers from previous years. The importance of this growth is highlighted when you look at our enrollment trends as well. As this slide illustrates, we have seen a steady decline in student enrollment over the last few years. Despite having fewer students overall, we achieved higher engagement, which signals that our outreach efforts are working. However, it is important to keep in mind that declining enrollment also directly impacts our LCFF funding, a reality that I will detail in the budget overview on the next slide. This chart provides a mid-year snapshot of our fiscal landscape. It outlines our budget items, starting with the projected 25-26 adopted budget presented to the board last June. Beside that, we have listed our actual budget amounts that you can see on this slide, which are based on the first interim report, followed by the variance. For your reference, this data aligns with the first interim report presented by Dr. Nien in December, and that is on page 49 of the report. You will notice that our total actual LCFF funds are slightly lower than what we projected in June. As a reminder, the adopted budget is a projection based on the best information available at that time. By the first interim, we update those numbers with new state assumptions and adjust for carryover, including the release of state, local, and federal funds. The LCFF supplemental and concentration funding is specifically generated by our enrollment of foster youth, plurilingual, and low-income students. Our actual budget amount in this area has decreased primarily due to the decline in our unduplicated pupil count. We are monitoring this closely to ensure our resources remain targeted where they are needed. And moving on to our expenditures, as of this mid-year update, we have spent approximately 50% of our LCAP funds. This is where we expect to be at this point in the academic year. We are fully on track to utilize the remaining funds by the end of the fiscal year to support the actions and services outlined in our plan. And special thanks to our business services department, who ensures that our fiscal responsibility is met with precision and efficiency. So thank you for that. And now we are going to move on to the mid-year update on metrics. So in this section, I'm going to share data trends we see across our goals. And I will start with goal 1. Okay. We're going to review our high-level or satellite data that aligns with the California School Dashboard data. I'm pleased to report that our district graduation rate has consistently maintained a level above 90%, which remains well above the state average. Our Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services, Ms. Kwan, shared this data at the first LCAP meeting. We are also seeing steady progress in the graduation rates for our plurilingual students. However, we are closely monitoring a decrease in the graduation rates for our foster youth and student with disabilities. So we need to pay special attention. We acknowledge these gaps and are using this mid-year data to refine our targeted interventions, ensuring these specific student groups receive the wraparound supports and interventions necessary to reach the finish line. Turning to our A through G completion rates, which measure the percentage of students meeting the requirements for UC and CSU eligibility, we continue to see an upward trend. Our current rate has increased and remains above the state average. This growth is a testament to the effectiveness of our early intervention strategies and our commitment to providing extensive academic pathways for all students. By ensuring more students meet these requirements, we are directly expanding their post-secondary options and fulfilling our promise to prepare them for college, career, and life. Moving to student achievement in our core subjects, we look closely at our standardized state test scores. We'll begin with English language arts. While our meets and exceeds standards currently sit below the state average, a closer look at the data reveals a complex picture. We are seeing some encouraging growth trends in specific areas alongside some trends that require our urgent attention. As this board knows, we do not rely on standardized test scores alone to define the full depth of student learning or the brilliance of our students. However, these are state-mandated benchmarks that we take seriously, and they serve as a call to action for us to continue to refine our instructional supports. We also see a similar trend in mathematics. While our overall scores are currently below the state average, the data is not uniform. We see positive movement within certain student groups, even as we identify critical gaps in others. We firmly believe that by triangulating this performance data with post-graduation outcomes and direct feedback from our educational partners, we gain a much more accurate assessment of our programs and services. This comprehensive view allows us to celebrate our students' progress while being honest and strategic about where we must improve. Moving to our college and career indicator 3-year analysis, we see several points of pride. Overall, we have seen a steady increase in the percentage of students who successfully complete at least one CTE pathway while simultaneously fulfilling their A through G requirements. This dual achievement ensures our students are not just graduating, but again, graduating with options. While we are committed to closing the gap for all students and student groups, we have remarkable news regarding our graduates' post-secondary success. Our students' persistent rates and college GPAs consistently and significantly outperform college averages, which is a significant milestone and achievement. In other words, when AUHSD students get to college, they tend to stay in college and excel. And next, we will look at our advanced placement passing rates. We are very encouraged by the trends we are seeing here. Not only are our AP pass rate percentages increasing, but the actual number of students earning passing scores of a 3 or higher is also increasing. This is a critical distinction. It means we are successfully expanding access to this level of coursework while maintaining and even improving that quality of instruction that those specific students are receiving. When more students are sitting for these exams and passing them, it demonstrates that our college-ready culture is yielding these types of results. This growth directly translates into college credit and tuition savings for our families, further supporting our mission of preparing students for life beyond high school. We now move to LCAP Goal 2, which focuses on, again, the community schools approach and our commitment to linguistic and culturally responsive communities. In AUHSD, we strive to provide meaningful educational opportunities for every family. Our approach is engaged and designed to be asset-based, collaborative and interactive, ensuring we meet our community exactly where they are, not the other way around. Because every campus is unique, we do tailor our programs to the specific needs of each school site, which can look different. This includes culturally responsive initiatives such as our parent learning walks, parent leadership academies, and our family education series. These programs allow us to build on the strengths of our community while keeping the focus squarely on teaching and learning. We also prioritize shared decision-making. We provide clear pathways for parents and caregivers to participate in bodies like our SPAC, DLAC, ELAC, School Site Council, LCAP Steering Committee, and LCAP process. To further empower our families, we also offer resources like our Google certificates and our Know Your Rights community forums, ensuring our families have the tools they need to advocate for their students. Our community schools model is the glue that connects our students, staff, families together. In fact, AUHSD, just want to acknowledge that we are a demonstration district. To date, we have hosted more than 75 different districts. As you heard earlier, we have an upcoming leading and learning walk, sorry about that, welcoming nearly over 400 guests over the year who come to see our model in action. So whether it is through our performance task assessments or our student initiatives, our guests leave inspired by how we address the needs of the whole child through the lens of the classroom experience. Okay, this slide provides a snapshot of our parent and family engagement data, but these slides were submitted previously, and I have updated real-time data to show with you tonight that is truly inspiring. So the data that you see is from last year and the year prior, but I have data for the 25-26 school year. So for this school year so far, we have recorded 10,721 parent caregiver check-ins across our school sites. Check-in means that a parent caregiver signed in and attended an event. For example, I was at Dale Junior High School's open house with some of you. Hundreds of parents and families were there, so that obviously is not included in the data. But we are currently transitioning to eCadence to track attendance for all parent events. Our highest engagement areas include parent orientations, coffee with the principal, lunch with a loved one, and our family summits, also our summits with our college partners. Additionally, we've seen 477 check-ins specifically for our governance and advisory committees such as DLAC, LCAP, and School Site Council or Community School Site Council. This demonstrates that our parents are not just attending events, they're actively helping lead and participating in decision-making in our district. Finally, I'm incredibly proud to report a significant increase in our direct family support. We distributed 3,312 more food and care packages last year compared to the 23-24 school year, highlighting the successful expansion of services to meet the most essential needs of our community. We look forward to presenting the finalized comprehensive data for Goal 2 at our upcoming LCAP meeting, which will focus on Goal 2. This concludes my review of LCAP Goals 1 and 2. It is now my pleasure to hand the presentation over to Mr. Saldivar, who will walk us through LCAP Goal 3, Safe, Positive, and Inclusive School Culture.
All right, thank you, Dr. Sidhu. On February the 5th, we held our second session of our LCAP season, with the focus being solely on Goal 3, different from previous years, where we would have different focus groups focused on a particular goal, so not everyone would have the opportunity or chance to provide input on other goals. So based on that feedback, we decided to change that structure. So as Dr. Sidhu mentioned, we had our general session on the 22nd of January. February the 5th was solely on Goal 2. So anyone who was in attendance, virtually or in person, was able to provide input on Goal 3. With this in mind, I'd like to spend a little more time going a little bit deeper with Goal 3, both on our some of the data and the engagement process itself as well. Before going a little bit deeper, I know we've already presented this slide earlier. However, we want to just call to everyone's attention the language behind Goal 3. So I'm going to read it verbatimly. but I would like for us to reflect on, as I'm reading the goal verbatimly, on either a word or words or phrase that really speak to you. And hopefully what you feel when this word or words or phrase speaks to you is the connection to a lot of the work that you see happening in our district, whether through our vision, mission, core values, through some of the data that Dr. Sidhu's already presented, some of the data that I'm going to present, or just in our general spaces that we are a part of on a day-to-day basis. So goal 3 reads, provide and nurture a safe, positive, and inclusive school culture that is responsive to the assets and needs of all students, with specific attention to our district students who are low income, foster youth, and EL, or plurilingual as we refer to them. I also want to, before going a little bit deeper, just bring us back to this slide here, which I'm sure many of us have seen. Maybe for some of us, it's the first time that we see this slide here. But this is our equity transformation cycle. And really, we just want to remind everyone that we as a district pride ourselves in our whole child approach, as Dr. Sidhu mentioned earlier, and the work that we are doing to be intentional with this approach. This here is a snapshot of what this might look like in practice. It's a big part of our community schools work. So for the purposes of our working sessions, sessions 2, 3, and 4, as a part of our LCAP season, we really focus on the first 2 circles there, which you have listen and uncover. So we're looking to listen to the data as we're looking at survey data, satellite data. We're starting to bring in street data into the mix, and we're from the lens of reflection and how are we doing as a district. The second circle there is we're looking to uncover. What are we uncovering as we're reviewing this data? We're reflecting on this data. We're having some dialogue around this data. What is it that we're beginning to uncover? So as we analyze this data, what stories are we seeing? What's the result of? What are the results telling us? And then we begin to move to the reimagine stage and then the move stage, which are the next steps. Those 2 stages come really more with the steering committee, and that's a big part of their work. But for this evening and for our sessions, our LCAP sessions, we focus on the listening and uncovering phases. I also want to remind us that the street data is fairly new to our field. So, there's been a lot of work, tireless work that our district has done to be more intentional with street data. There's still a lot of work to be done. So, as you heard from our students earlier, when we hear from our students, that's a perfect example of street data, and how we collect street data is really what we're trying to become better and better at, and then how we respond to it and how we act on it. We heard from Santiago Peralta, an 8th grader at Brookers Junior High. He brought in some data into his public comments. You're starting to see more and more of that when we see students coming up to the podium, whether in this space or in the spaces back at our school sites. Staff as well. You've heard many times from our union reps like Lacey Munger bring data to the podium, and really grounding ourselves in data to help us listen more, understand more, uncover, reimagine, and move. Okay. So LCAP season. So again, this is an opportunity, as Dr. Sidhu has mentioned earlier. Really, it's an opportunity for us to progress monitor ourselves. We have existing resources, we have existing programs, we have existing actions and services, and we have a lot of data, that we're looking at throughout the entire year. However, this is an opportunity for our community to come together, our educational partners, our students, our families, our staff, both at the district and at the site level, to come together in the same space and really dig a little deeper, right? Have some dialogue, some genuine and authentic dialogue around what we're seeing, what the data is telling us, and then again, begin to see the stories that it's telling and start to think about what input we're going to provide back to us as a district on whether these things, are they working, are they not? Are there some obviously things that we want to celebrate, things that we need to maybe dig a little bit deeper into? And so this is really that opportunity. So we pride ourselves in that experience that we provide as a district to our entire community. in terms of goal 3, again, going back to goal 3, when you look at goal 3, we're asking that question: are we providing spaces back at our sites for our students, for our staff, for our families that are safe, positive, and inclusive? We think about climate and culture as soon as you read goal 3. So when you think about the resources, the existing programs, actions and services, I'm gonna go over a few of them, not all of them, obviously. This is more of a snapshot of what we have on our campuses. So when it comes to our teachers, our admin, our staff, our counselors, our social workers, all of our staff back at the sites, often that first trusted adult that a student comes in contact with when they step onto a campus, typically these are the folks that are working tirelessly to build culture, to build, to ensure that their spaces are inclusive, are welcoming, not only in the classroom but in our offices, on our fields, in our programs. So again, with that in mind, this is when we start to connect that back to the data. Are we seeing in our trend data? Are we seeing progress being made, right? And so we'll connect that in a second here to some of the survey data that directly connects to goal 3. We also have our campus safety aides. We have neutral ground. We have our school resource officers who are also working together to also contribute to that safe and inclusive space. Their work is grounded in relationships and really getting to know our students and building connections. They're often a part of a lot of the collaboration that occurs on campus with our admin teams, our staff, to continue to impress upon our campus in terms of that building that culture of care and safety. So these are all existing resources that we currently have at most of our sites. We also have, from our counselors there who are, as Lacey Munger mentioned earlier, working tirelessly to ensure that our students feel supported in the areas of mental health. And really, when we talk about what are their needs and what do we need to support with them, we connect back to the data. So as mentioned earlier, we're trying to be more intentional with how we use data. We have UAN surveys. Did I the acronym UAN, right? Okay, I just want to make sure I got that right. So we have our UAN surveys and our LCAP surveys that we're being more intentional with in terms of how we look at that data, how we put it in front of our staff, the different opportunities that we have to ensure that we're gleaning the needs and assets from that data to then help us determine what we're going to do with that data. So for example, when we see some of the trends that are coming from that data, from some of the needs, our counselors will then work hard to put together some guidance lessons. So if it's mental health, if it's struggling with managing emotions, regulating emotions, if it's anxiety, if it's whatever it might be, that might then lead to a guidance lesson. It might lead to a small group pull out to individual conversations with whether it's a social worker or a counselor who now is reaching out to a student. We also have opportunities for our students to be able to uplift their voice, not only in the classroom and in those spaces, but also as a school community. We have our RSVP program, Raising Students' Voices and Perspectives, which happens on each and every one of our campuses. That's evolved over the years. It's now a very robust program, and we often hear a lot from our students in terms of what they feel is needed for them on their campuses to help them continue to feel as if they are a part of the campus, where they feel welcomed and they feel proud of what's going on their campuses. For staff, we have a lot of different type opportunities for professional learning. We have Capturing Kids' Hearts as a perfect example. That's an opportunity for staff for different sites to participate in professional learning opportunities where, again, the idea is how do we continue to provide spaces in our classrooms where kids do feel connected. We're getting to know our students by name, by face, by need, and really getting to know their stories. We have other resources like digital mapping that we are where we're building. We're working with our local law enforcement to ensure that they have digital maps available to them if there's ever a need for them to be on our campus or work with our campus during a crisis situation. They now have eyes on our campus to see what our campus might look like in terms of before sending in teams. Vulnerability assessments, where we have our as well, we have different folks working to ensure that we're assessing each campus and finding areas that are vulnerable to high risk situations and ensuring that we're addressing those immediately. Our Stop It app is an anonymous app. So we talk a lot about getting to know our kids and forming relationships and connections, but we know that sometimes some students are still going to feel a little hesitant to come in forward when they're feeling a certain way, when they see something that maybe shouldn't be happening, whether it's some type of behavior or something that they're feeling that they're not connecting with someone on campus. So for students that want to remain anonymous, we have the Stop It app. The Stop It app is an opportunity for students to log into an app and anonymously report what's going on. That immediately notifies our admin team, and then it gives them the opportunity to assess and then respond. So those are just, again, a snapshot of some of the different things that we have connected to Goal 3 to help continue to build a safe and inclusive environment, safe and inclusive culture. But how do we know it's working when we're investing into these resources, into these programs, into staff? We also want to ensure that we're monitoring and we're progress monitoring throughout the year. So again, we look at some of our data. So here you have some of the data that we put in front of our educational partners for session 2 that's connected to Goal 3, directly connected to Goal 3. The question here it reads as, I have at least one adult in this school that I can go to for help. This is some trend data. If you notice that first sample of data, which is all of our students, you have the N count below on that table at the bottom of the slide. So the N count is really how many total students took the survey. It gives you a little bit of that trend data, which Dr. Sudo has already alluded to. You see the improvement from 23-24 to 25-26, an increase of over 3,000 students, I believe, if I'm doing the math right, or around 3,000 students. However, for our subgroups, we've only been able to capture the last 2 years of data. So although our baseline, as what the recommendation from OCDE in the state is to always use 3 years of trend data for a lot of our questions, because we've only been able to capture on the back end our subgroups over the last 2 years. You're only going to see 2 years of data for them. When we come up here next year, we'll have 3-year trend data for the subgroups as well. There's also a couple of questions where you're only going to see 1 year of data, because this was the first year that we asked that question. Next year we'll have 2. Following year we'll have 3. So as you see there, for the most part with this question, when students answer this question, I have at least one adult in the school that I can go to help for. It remained somewhat stagnant for the last 3 years for all of our students. When you look at our English learners, however, when you look at our subgroups, however, you notice that there's a little bit of a discrepancy with our students. I'm looking at the wrong side here. Give me a second. Yeah, so with our foster youth. Okay, so our foster youth, in terms of the strongly agree and somewhat agree, you have about a 15% drop. Okay, so then that would point us in a particular direction, right, to want to dig a little bit deeper, right? That's where we start to think about, okay, when this gets put out back out to our sites in terms of site data, this is again district data. At some point, we're going to have site data to give back to our sites. And if this is the case at their site, this is where they can now dig a little bit deeper. They can think about the street data component. You know, let's start to call some of these kids out. Let's start to have some community voice circles, some empathy interviews, and let's get some more information on this and figure out what we can do better. So this is where you start to, you know, also think about in terms of what might that reimagine and moving phase look like. The next question is, I am cared for and treated with kindness. And again, you see some of the trend data. You see, for the most part, it's remained somewhat stagnant for the last 3 years. When you go a little bit and dig a little bit deeper with our subgroups, you start to see with our English learners and our students with disabilities, there's a little bit of a drop there from about 8 to 10%. So again, it starts to point us in a certain direction where we want to go and dig a little bit deeper. Okay, not to say that for the other groups, we're not going to do any work. It's just something that might be a little more glaring and pointing us in a particular direction to dig deeper. Ask additional questions, look for additional data, and take some next steps. Okay. The next question that we have on here as an example is, I care about other students at my school. Again, the trend data shows that it's been pretty stagnant for the last 3 years, a little bit of improvement, maybe a little bit of a decrease here and there. But when you look at our subgroups, it's once again our foster youth where you see a glaring discrepancy between our foster youth and all students. It's about a 20% drop in terms of students who strongly agree or somewhat agree that they care about other students at their school. So again, things to look for and a direction to be pointed in when you're thinking about what are you going to do with this data and how are you going to respond to it. Okay, here's a question that we added to this year. So in terms of why was it not a question in previous years? Can't answer that. My feeling is that maybe we felt that it was being asked in other ways. And this year, and when we review our LCAP survey every year, and this year, when we were reviewing our LCAP survey, we felt like we just need to ask this question directly, right? Because it is insinuated in other questions. However, let's just ask this question directly. So the question is, I feel safe at my school. Okay, so you're only going to see this year's results. Next year, you'll see 2-year trend data, and then the following year, you'll see the 3-year trend data. Okay, and when this question was asked, the 17,000 students that answered it in the all category, about 86% of them felt that they strongly agree or agree that they feel safe at their school. When you look at the subgroups, it's mostly the same for our subgroups with the exception of our foster youth, where there's about an 8% drop. Okay, so then again, that's going to point us in a particular direction. We have the raw data on for those that took it, so we could actually go and see who answered and for those that answered agree or strongly disagree or somewhat disagree. Okay, and so that's going to obviously lead to some next steps. Okay. Same with this question here. First year that we ask it. So over the next couple of years, we'll see some trend data on this as well. So the hope is that we see improvements, right? The trend data starts to point us in a positive direction. But for this year, this is what we have. And again, when you look at this data, this survey question here, you see that there's also in terms of the results, we feel positive about the results for all students, but then with our subgroups, you see a little bit of a drop. So we want to make sure that we're paying attention to that as well. Okay. Now, why are we looking at survey data? What's the purpose? There's a lot of reasons why. Okay. But at the end of the day, the goal is to ensure that our students are not only feeling like there's an environment that's supportive of them, inclusive, welcoming, where they feel safe, but that if that is happening, then they should be engaged in school. We should see attendance rates increasing. We should see suspension rates decreasing. We should see our graduation rates increasing. We should see our A through G rates increasing. So that will start to point to our satellite data in the sense that it's moving in the right direction, right? Over a set number of years. So here, we're just going to quickly connect back to our chronic absenteeism, where we do see some positive trend data. We see for most of our subgroups, if you compare this year, 24-25 to 23-24, there's definitely movement in the right direction for not only all students, but for all of our subgroups as well. So for all students, you see a 3-year positive trend movement in the right direction, and for our subgroups, for the most part, it's following the same suit with the exception of foster youth, where there was an increase in chronic absenteeism from 22-23 to 23-24, but now there's a decrease from 23-24 to 24-25. At the end of this year, we'll be able to compare this year to last year's data as well. Okay, and then same with our 3-year suspension rate data. You see, again, a trend in the right direction. You know, as mentioned earlier by Santiago Peralta, you know, he referenced Brookhurst as an example. Well, this is our district data, and you see a very similar trend that we are suspending less students year by year over the last 3 years. And if you were to go further back, you would see the same trend, okay, both for all students and for all of our subgroups as well. Okay, so we talked about street data. All right, so here we included some quotes from our students. So when we think about the different levels of data, we have our satellite data, which is our big picture data, graduation rates, chronic absenteeism across the district, A through G rates, suspension rates, and then we have our map data, which is like our survey data, and then we have some street data. Street data is more of when we conduct when we have students provide a little more to the questions. Give us a quote, give us a reason to why they feel the way they're feeling, answering questions and things like that. Or we're conducting empathy interviews or community voice circles. This is off of our LCAP survey data. So we ask students to share some positive things about their school community. So we pulled some of that data to share with you for the purpose of tonight. So I'm going to read a couple of them because you have them in front of you. But I'm going to give you one example of one that this is what we're striving for, right? This is the ideal. And even though it's the ideal, there's still room for growth. But this is what we want all students to feel. So this student answered this question in terms of what's some positive things about their school community. And I'm just going to read it verbatimly. I like how all my teachers are good at what they do and even offer help outside of school. My teachers are understanding, and when anyone's having a difficult time because they understand the rigor of a lot of hard classes on one student can be pressuring. The adults at our school are very supportive and for the most part available when they need to. The students in my school are also very cool. I've met many good people through the clubs, classes, and sports I'm involved in that share similar goals to mine, keeping me on track. So how does this relate to goal 3? Obviously, when you have this type of lived experience, right, you're going to feel more connected. You're going to feel safer. You're going to feel welcomed. You're going to feel included, right? And so then hopefully that the survey data is also being answered positively. And then obviously that's going to point to the fact that we're graduating more students attending classes, less students being suspended, so on and so forth. I'm going to give you an example of something that we definitely want to call our attention to. And maybe, again, room for growth, right? Always room for growth. So share some things that you would like to see improved and or changed within your school community. I'd like to see people be more positive and kind to others. There are some people who just like to create drama and make you not want to go to school. I think everyone would thrive if they just had empathy towards other people and just tried putting themselves in other people's shoes before being rude. So what wonderings do we have about this quote? If we know who the student is, can we work with the student to ask some more questions, right, to dig a little bit deeper? And then what would you do with that data if it's presented to your staff? And how would you react to this data? What would be some next steps? What would be some other wonderings? And again, in the purpose, in the sense that the ultimate goal is to ensure we're doing better, be better, do better for our students, okay? Okay, so the engagement process, as mentioned earlier, we're headed into session 3, which we're going to be focusing on goal 2. Here are just some pictures from our previous couple of sessions. This is from session 1 on January the 22nd. And we had the second session on the 5th, and we're moving into the third session, which we're going to be covering goal 2, which is tied more to family engagement. Okay, so more to come on that. Here are some key dates for the rest of our sessions. We have on the 26th, session 3, tied to goal 2. On March 12th, session 4, tied to goal 1. And then on April 16th, our 5th and final session, where we bring everyone back together to hear about the final results in terms of what we're going to prioritize after all of the progress monitoring that we have done, okay, and all the dialogue that has happened around all 3 goals. We have our steering committee meetings that are a huge help. That we've also revamped that process, as Dr. Sidhu alluded to earlier. A huge thanks to all of those that are involved in our steering committee meetings. We have more than 70 folks that are invited to those steering committee meetings and that are a part of that. So again, both staff, students, district folks, site folks, community partners, parents, so a little bit of everything. And they're engaging and getting their hands dirty with the reimagining part, and then eventually we're going to move on the reimagining part. And then our parent prep meetings, which are virtual. And this is an opportunity for parents to come before the next session to begin to be exposed and preview the data, maybe ask some questions about it to feel more prepared as they head into the next session. So again, it's just a prep meeting. We provide some sentence stems, sentence starters for them. And we've had a lot of positive feedback on that as well. Okay, just a quick side note, different this year from last year is we've added a virtual option for our LCAP sessions for 2, 3, and 4 in particular, which in previous years didn't have that virtual option. So just we wanted to make sure that if for anyone that, when we talk about access for all, we want to make sure that there's the opportunity for access for all. Okay. And then our launch, before we open it up to a Q&A session, which from my understanding, you only have 2 minutes for the Q&A session. So our launch, that's Dr. Freed asked me to say that. No. Okay. So our launch, so with the 14th around the corner, we just wanted to acknowledge all of the work behind not only the LCAP, but just the day-to-day grind that happens back at the sites to support our students, our staff, our families, from all of our workforce, both at the site level, at the district level. We have so many folks that are a part of this work, and again, just there's a lot of love out there for the work that we do, and it's because of the students and the families that we serve. A lot of love for this community, a lot of love for all that are a part of this community, and that's why we do this. So in the spirit of Valentine's, a little quote here from Khalil Gibran, which reads, "Work is love made visible." All right. With that said, we're going to open it up to a Q&A if you have any.
Thank you. Thank you both for your presentation. I just want to shout out that I'm grateful for both of you taking in feedback, right, throughout the process, updating the survey, including virtual sessions for our parents to attend. That's really great. So thank you both. And with that, I will open for any questions. Trustee McCullough?
First question with regards to our foster youth. What do we, I know it's early, but what do we theorize, what do we predict why these numbers are so low or why it's dropping?
Clarifying question, in terms of participation, in terms of the number of foster youth that answered because when you look at the
like
count,
for example, graduation rates in slide.
Miss Kwan.
Our foster youth numbers are generally very low, and so any difference between year to year of 10 or fewer could make big swings in the percentages shown. And so I don't know the exact raw data for numbers from each year, but because it's so significantly small, any shift in 1 or 2 students makes big swings in the percentages.
Okay, thank you so much. And then the next question, I don't really have a question, I have a comment. Because this is important that and first and foremost, amazing work, everybody who's been part of this process. I know it's a large process, but I say great work because I know that it's very difficult for stakeholders from a variety from our community itself who are very colonized in our mindset, right? From our administration who has been doing traditional ways of schooling. And re-looking into street data, chapter 1 specifically, as we look at the theoretical framework that guides this work. And by the way, I love the mixed methods approach in which you were presenting, that we could see qualitative and both quantitative data in terms of how this process is going. I'm incredibly proud. It is hard when you do a paradigm shift that's decolonial, that's cyclical, that's indigenous, but it's the right work. This is the work that we're doing, but it's hard, right? Because even wearing a suit is hard. Some of our community members already look at me and they don't trust me. You know what I mean? So to come in with humility and to first start with that number one thing on the very top of the cycle of just listening, given the time that we have, right? We have a, February something deadline, is hard, right? But as we're moving this mind shift, I believe that we're gonna move mountains. And with that said, great work. And I look forward to seeing our final presentation of the LCAP in May. So great work, and hopefully I can pop into another one of them. I know we can only go 2 at a time, so great job.
Thank you.
Trustee Hoshi?
First of all, I am so proud to be part. I got to go to the last LCAP meeting, and just the change was refreshing as far as like us meeting and just talking about that one goal. I think the thing that resonated with me the most was just having students help present as well. Just shows the partnership that we have and the trust that we have with our student voice. So I'm really proud of that. Okay, so with that said, I'm here because I love the phrase Kaizen, continuous improvement. And so my questions are merely to ask for some improvement in some areas, okay? So first of all, I want to know, just for the general audience, the SBAC testing is done in what grades?
7th, 8th, and 11th.
7th, 8th, and 11th. So our data is showing the results from those scores, correct? Do we ever like separate? I see that that here it says all students. So I'm assuming that data is 7th, 8th, and 11th grade students then, data from that, right? Do we ever kind of like separate the junior high school from the high school to show what areas we might need to improve? And we could maybe be a little bit more intentional about providing those supports for kids at the earlier ages, so in order to help them so that they're just not going through the thing. Now I know when I talk about SBAC too, it's one metric, but it's, to me, it's one common metric that we have countywide and statewide. So that's the reason why I asked that question. But is there anything that we're doing to look at that data from junior high versus when they take the test again in 11th grade?
Ms. Kwan, thank you.
At our first LCAP opener, we did look at the SBAC scores broken down by grade level. So pretty consistently over the last couple of years, we've seen the trend that actually our 11th graders close the gap from the state average closer than our 7th and 8th graders. And we do see a dip in 8th grade. So we do look at the SBAC scores by grade level, by school, by student group. Typically, we're at the LCAP level, we're looking at it district-wide, but at the school plan level, the SPSA level at the school sites, they're looking at their individual data as well. So district-wide, we see
So
that
typically,
trend.
do school districts that have a is it just one, like all students, like the way we have it?
The way we're required to report out tonight, and other times it is one score, but the way we use it for our continuous improvement planning, we will look at it broken down.
Thank you. Okay, I'm very impressed too at the number of responses, because in 22-23 we had 14,000 from students. 23-24 we kind of dipped down to 12, but this 24-25 we had 17,000. So thank you guys for being a little bit more intentional. Now, the follow-up question is, are we also intentional with parents in getting parent feedback? And what were the numbers as far as the parent feedback that is for our data that we're presenting?
So if you look at our parent data for the survey results, that's also improved from this year to the previous 2 years. And as far as getting their feedback, are you referring to like the street data portion of it, or
just like the number of parents that have responded, and how we intentionally encouraging more parents that typically we don't hear from, that we need to hear from? How do we get their responses?
You know, we're leveraging our relationships back at the sites. We've done a lot of work, intentional work with our FACES and community school coordinators and just staff in general to build connections with their parents. We've obviously, we're offering opportunities for them to get involved more than ever before. You know, with the reflective learning walks, PLAs, coffee with the principals, and all the other different things that we do. Food pantries is not just the ones that we invite to take advantage of the pantries, but the ones that come and volunteer to support, you know, the logistical efforts that comes with you know, things like that. So leveraging those partnerships. So there's always outreach. There's general outreach to our families, and then there's individual outreach. There's group outreach because of the relationships that our FACES and staff have established. And then from there, it's parents also helping with that outreach piece as well, which we attribute to the increase, obviously, in the results. So yes, there's, as we say, continuous improvement, always room for growth, always open to feedback. But we can genuinely say that there's efforts behind all of that work.
Something that caught my eye was the Google certificates for parents. What is that? I mean, I want one. You know, I mean, what does that look like? What does that mean?
Ms. Kwan.
Dr. Freed was the assistant superintendent when we had the Google Cert program for our parents. Was it a year and a half ago? We offered a Google certificate parent academy that was actually taught by our former students who completed the Google certificates. And we had 54 parents. Does that sound about right? Around 50 of our parents complete the Google certificate, and we had a ceremony, and they presented their projects.
So they can get a job with Google now, huh?
I believe we had testimonies about parents who used it right away and gave us feedback about how well it prepared them for interviews and how much it did give them an opportunity to interview for positions that they previously wouldn't have been able to.
And remember, the Google certificates don't prepare our students or even our parents for jobs with Google. Google, because of the recognition and the brand that Google is, the Google certificates are the equivalent of a bachelor's degree for many jobs when they earn them. So it positions a parent or our students to go straight from school if they wanted to an industry where they could be hired because of that certification. Obviously, if they go to a university and they have more work backed behind that project, they're further going to escalate in a career or have a much higher entry level position. But yeah, the Google certificates is seen by Fortune 500 companies as the equivalent of a bachelor's degree in many ways. So that's the power of the certification.
And our parents completed the one in project management.
So, steering committee, I just want to say thank you so much for your work. It really is showing, and I think the fact that we're doing something virtually, I mean, I heard so many great comments from the parents, and I understand we have a Spanish version and also an English version that is virtual. So, kudos to Eric Greenwood. Thank you so much. I mean, like, I invited people that couldn't come in person to the virtual one, and they really felt valued, they felt heard, and I really applaud you guys for that. So, and then lastly, people, I really want to encourage all parents sitting at home and listening and watching. The 26th of February, you could still be involved, and also March 12th. And then you have to come for the last one because that's when we have a taco dinner again, I think. So at least bring your, come for the free dinner, right? So anyway, but anyway, I want to encourage all of you, everyone sitting in the audience, as well as at home, to be a part of the LCAP thing. It's really, I mean, interesting to find out the governance of our district and how the state and LCAP and how we're funded. And I think people, it's a process, but you have to learn it. And so you just keep on asking more questions. So, but thank you.
Trustee Reynolds.
All right, it's a love fest. I'm echoing the sentiments of my colleagues in seeing the improvements with the process. I wrote down equity, equity transformation cycle. Seema, when you first said that, and I'm so glad you had a slide highlighting that. That just speaks to me, the intention of our district always to improve, always to looking for ways to improve in this process. And I've been in it since the very beginning when we first started doing the LCAP process, and I am amazed every single time I come to a session. There's something new that you're doing. There's something more innovative. There's something more to connect with the students, with the families, and just to shout out also when you showed the parent prep meetings. No other district's doing that for their parents. They don't take the time to prep their parents, and you listened to the parents when they said it's a little complicated, we get a little intimidated with all of the acronyms and the verbiage and the edu-speak, and this is the second or third year that we're doing this, and you're continuing to do it. You didn't rest on your laurels, and you know, our district, really, I have to highlight everyone that, you know, for the people that are new and coming to this process, we have been recognized statewide for our process. And yet, when I went on February 5th, you're still improving on this process. I love that intentional work, working on each goal at a time. You guys are just amazing. And what I hear and what I see is that when you make it easier for people to understand and easier to feel comfortable in the room, they're able to give you the best feedback that we need in order to accomplish this goal. Excuse me. And I was really intentionally looking at the students, because you always want to look and see if they're just kind of there and, you know, fumbling around and feeling a little nervous, you know, because they're adults around them. And in every session, those students were right up there giving their feedback, standing up and presenting. And thank you for allowing that to happen. They weren't just there, they were really involved and participating. And I'm just so enamored that, you know, every time I go, I see everyone there. And if you're a staff member, you've been working all day. If you're an administrator, you've been answering questions and going to you know, games or whatever club wanted you to come in and say hello, or, you know, speak to 50,000 parents. And I mean, I've never seen anyone grumble. I've never heard a complaint. People are there and they're so willing to be in this process and engage with our parents. And I just have to let you know that, that I'm so proud of you. I know it's hard work, and I know we demand a lot of you to come and give extra time and efforts. I want you to know that I see that, we see that, and we so appreciate it, because we do ask a lot of you. However, I feel that the community deserves that, and the community is also responding to that. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. I will echo my board members' comments just on everything, and I'm looking forward to the next presentation. And as I said before, it's even tonight's presentation was very intentional. The new visuals, adding new questions, like I mentioned earlier. You can definitely tell that some of them. I was able to attend the first LCAP meeting along with Trustee O'Neill, and my comments that night was I truly believe that everyone in the room was here to make sure our students succeed, and you could definitely see that throughout this process. So I'm looking forward to the next chapter for this LCAP. So thank you.
Madam President, I'm sorry, I have one last
Yes,
comment,
go ahead.
and I can't not share it because it's just important as we move on to this new chapter and through this new process through LCAP. Maybe could we consider, just because, and I know it is not intentional at all with this district, specifically because it's what's required from the state of California, how we designate English language learners or English learners is actually a deficit approach. Maybe moving forward, it's just a thought, if we can utilize emergent bilinguals so that we could see our students as more of an asset, and then in parentheses maybe put ELs, because I know that it gets complicated with our work and staff when we have to report things and we have to send stuff to the state. But in reality, if we're really to look at our students from an asset lens, the word is emergent bilingual students. So I'm sorry I had to add that. But again, it is a new chapter.
We speak that language, but
I know, yeah, but it's how you present it. I get it.
Definitely, we appreciate the feedback.
Yeah.
We'll definitely look at making some adjustments to our we do refer to them as plurilingual, multilingual, emerging bilinguals. We need to land on something, right? And but in terms of that asset base lens, we want to make sure that we stick to that. So
I get it. And again, I am the newer board member, and I've only seen so many presentations. I know it's not intentional, but it's how our state designates emergent bilingual students, right? So multilingual or anything.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good
we
comments.
appreciate the feedback. Yeah.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Round of applause, please. All right, I am now going to open our public comments. Opportunities for public comments occur at the beginning of each agenda item and at this time for items not on the agenda. Persons wishing to address the Board of Trustees should complete a speaker request form available on the information table at the back of the room and submit it to the executive assistant prior to the meeting. Each speaker is limited to a maximum of 3 minutes. Each topic or item is limited to a total of 20 minutes. Board members cannot immediately respond to public comments as stated on the speaker request form. And I will call up our first speaker is Esther Yee.
Thank you to the Board of Trustees, district officials, administrators, teachers, and families for the opportunity to speak this evening. My name is Esther Yee, and I'm a parent of 3 children with 2 sons in the Korean dual immersion program at Jefferson Elementary and a 7th grade daughter at Walker Junior High. Our family commutes 35 minutes each way through a inter-district transfer so our children can participate in the Korean DI and continue Korean DI in this district at the secondary level. This was a deliberate decision we made with the expectation that this program would continue in person. As decisions are being made about the future of Korean DI at Anaheim Union High School District, I want to express my concern about a possible shift to a virtual model and the lack of transparency and communication with families during this process. What makes Korean DI successful is not just language instruction, it is the community. Families choose this program because of the relationships built among students, teachers, and parents. Cultural identity is strengthened not only in the classroom, but through shared experiences. Some families commute up to 45 minutes each way and are willing to drive further to attend Walker Junior High should this take place at Walker Junior High. Others have made significant financial and personal sacrifices to remain part of this in-person program. Moving it online removes the foundation that makes it meaningful and effective. I understand that enrollment and finances are part of this decision. However, if meeting enrollment targets is the goal, the district must partner with its most invested stakeholders, the families who have already demonstrated commitment. Recruitment cannot succeed if families feel uninformed or excluded. AUHSD has known for years how many students are currently enrolled in the first cohort. A proactive, collaborative approach should have begun earlier. Recruiting within the Korean American community also requires cultural awareness. There are meaningful differences between first and second generation families, and without understanding those nuances, outreach efforts will continue to fall short. I am not here only to express concern, but to also offer partnership. Families are ready to help ensure Korean DI succeeds at the secondary level, and what we need is transparency, clear communication, and a commitment to prioritizing an in-person model. I respectfully ask the board to carefully consider the long-term impact of moving Korean DI to a virtual format and to fully explore every pathway to sustain it in person. We are ready to collaborate and support solutions. We simply ask to be included in the process. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Nicole Loken. If I said that wrong, I apologize.
Good evening. My name is Nicole Loken. I am the president of the Perfect Harmony Booster Club Board for Kennedy High School and Walker Junior High Singers. I'm here on behalf of the Walker and Kennedy Singers to formally express serious concerns regarding the leadership, decision-making, and conduct of Mr. Brush in his role overseeing these choir programs. Our core concern is that Mr. Brush is not an appropriate fit for a multi-level competitive show choir program at this stage of its development. These programs require experienced ensemble management, clear communication with families, consistent supervision, and a collaborative relationship with a booster organization managing significant funds. Unfortunately, his practices have repeatedly placed student safety, student well-being, and program stability at risk. First, communication. Families routinely receive late or incomplete information regarding rehearsals, grading, and mandatory participation. A syllabus and grading rubric were not provided until nearly 2 months into the school year, and many parents were excluded from the primary communication platform, leaving families without transparency or oversight. Second, student safety and professional boundaries. There have been multiple incidents involving non-district communication platforms, student privacy concerns, unclear supervision after evening rehearsals, and requests made of students that cause discomfort. These reflect a concerning pattern that does not align with district expectations. Third, student well-being and program climate. This is an elective program, yet students report feeling demeaned, publicly criticized, and distressed. Multiple students have been observed crying during or after rehearsals. Morale has declined significantly, and injured or struggling students were excluded rather than supported. I also want to note that students wanted to be here tonight. They are currently rehearsing and expressed fear of negative consequences for missing rehearsal, because even if excused, which speaks to the current climate. Fourth, program management and fiscal impact. Rehearsal time has been inefficient, preparation inconsistent, and competition plans unstable. Changes and cancellations have resulted in lost value for students, families, and booster funds raised in good faith. Finally, despite repeated outreach, site administration has not met with the Perfect Harmony Booster Board as a whole. This lack of collaboration has eroded trust and left families feeling unheard. Our request is simple. We respectfully ask for a formal review by the Director of Human Resources into Mr. Brush's conduct, communication practices in alignment with AUHSD professional standards. Our sole interest is the safety, well-being, and success of our students and the preservation of a program families have invested in for years. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. I know you all lined up, so if you could state your name when you...
Hi, good evening, Board of Trustees and Superintendent Freed. My name is Tamara Stallings. My daughter is a senior at Kennedy High School and performs in the show choir. I am one of many concerned parents here to speak on behalf of our choir students and to also convey my personal interactions and concerns regarding Mr. Brush. It is in my opinion Mr. Brush is unprofessional and has trouble with communication. My belief is that he is not as experienced in people skills or show choir as he leads off, it seems. I'm disheartened by the things that I've been hearing from students, parents, and booster members, primarily and most importantly for the well-being of our choir students. I've already reached out to administrators with my concerns about the last Christmas show production or lack thereof and the low morale that I have observed from students due to Mr. Brush's leadership. My own daughter burst into tears after the last show, not because of the lack of confidence in her own performance, but because she finally let go of all of the pressure she had felt and experienced in choir under Mr. Brush's direction leading up to the show. She stated she was unhappy in that moment and that choir did not feel the way it used to feel in the past. She said it used to feel less stressful and now Mr. Brush makes she said it used to feel less stressful, and now Mr. Brush makes every mistake feel like students are going to embarrass themselves or embarrass him. It's frustrating and sad because they can't even express themselves without thinking they might be verbally reprimanded or embarrassed. These are some of the things that I've had to hear my daughter express to me frequently, and it's happened during class among all students. Still, I continue to advise her to keep going on and to do her best while doing something she loves, and that's singing and performing, because I'm proud of her. I've suggested to Mr. Brush in a choir meeting that maybe he should bring students and parents together to have a future meeting where students feel safe to express themselves to him and to parents regarding their concerns. The response Mr. Brush gave me was that it would happen in the future, and to merely email him. I did not email him because I felt that this was just another way to be dismissive and not respond with a concrete solution in that moment. In addition, I would like to express that I transferred my daughter from Kennedy from our home school district 3 years ago because Kennedy Singer's specialized program offered something for my daughter that our district at the time could not. I'm concerned that if this choir program continues in the way that things are going under Mr. Brush, there will be lack of enrollment from students. I've heard several parents mention that their child might not return next year. To end, we were grateful for the previous leadership, choir direction, and most importantly, the support, protectiveness, and care that choir students received. It's just disappointing and unfortunate that myself, as well as many of our students and parents, have come to these conclusions regarding the current leadership of Mr. Brush. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you. Can you please state your name for the record?
Good evening, Board of Trustees and Superintendent Fred. My name is Frank, and I serve as Parliament for the Perfect Harmony Booster Club, supporting Kennedy High School and Walker Junior High singers. I'm speaking tonight on behalf of a number of families and students who have shared many concerns. Our purpose in addressing you this evening is to respectfully request district awareness and support regarding several challenges the choir programs are currently experiencing under the new leadership. We understand that transitions can bring adjustments and that competition programs naturally involve a certain level of stress. However, this year, we have observed an increase in student anxiety and uncertainty about their preparedness. Many students have expressed that they do not feel ready heading into competition season, which is concerning for a program with a long-standing reputation of excellence. There have also been concerns about pacing and the use of rehearsal time, as well as the overall program organization. At this point in the season, key elements such as finalized costumes, fully completed choreography, and a polished competition set are still in progress. Preview night, which traditionally serves as a full dress rehearsal experience, is scheduled this week. Students may enter their first competition without even having a complete run-through under the full performance conditions. Additionally, families were recently informed that students would need to provide portions of their own performance attire due to delays in costume readiness the night before dress rehearsals were to take place. Still, with only a short period till students' first competition, many do not still have their costumes yet. While families are always willing to support the program, short notice has created some logistical challenges. From a booster board perspective, we also believe there is room to strengthen communicating and collaborating regarding financial planning. The AUHSD Booster Operating Manual outlines the importance of coordination between the program directors and the booster leadership when allocating funds. We welcome clear process moving forward to ensure transparency, alignment with budgets, and shared decision-making in support of the students while staying within budget and not going well over budget without any notice and communications with the boosters. Our goal is not to criticize, but to advocate for the stability, the clear communication, and the adequate preparedness that the students feel confident and are supported. Perfect Harmony has a strong history and deeply invested community. We want to ensure this program continues to thrive and that students are positioned for success both artistically and emotionally. We respectfully ask for the district's guidance and oversight needed to help strengthen the systems of communication in planning and support with the program. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Good evening, all. My name is Dean. I am a father of identical twin freshman girls at Kennedy High School. Both my daughters are Kennedy Choir Ambassador members. One of the twins was a member of the Kennedy Choir last year through the Walker Legacy Program. These two little girls have been both diagnosed with special needs and both are very high functioning. My wife is also a parent volunteer with the choir both last year and this year. She is volunteering right now at the school or else she would be present. I am here tonight because of my concern of the changes that I have seen, heard, and witnessed within the Kennedy Choir program. These changes have had a negative impact on my daughters. Last year, one of my daughters was involved in the choir while part of the Walker Legacy Program, and she really enjoyed the learning, the practices, preparation, and excitement before each performance. It helped her become more confident and gave her a sense of pride and accomplishment. She needed this program, and it truly helped her. Her sister saw this, and she decided to join this year. Since the change of directors this year, that joy and love for the choir is no longer with these two. They both have come home in tears because they are now feeling anxiety and pressure from choir. It has turned from something that should be fun into something that they dread going to. Hearing my daughters describe how the choir members are spoken to in class and the behavior of the new director seems to have made this program somewhat toxic. My wife attended the first choir booster meeting in October of 2025 because she wanted to see for herself what the new director was like. There was questions being asked by parents about scheduling, fundraising, performance, and the new director seemed to have his own agenda. The director had a meltdown at the end of this meeting in front of all the audience and including the kids. This was not the best first impression for parents, but it validated our children's descriptions of him. Security has also been concerns, safety and security has also been a concern with the kids getting injured during rehearsals and no protocol as to how to attend to them. In fact, an incident occurred yesterday where my daughter fell down the risers during a rehearsal. Her sister immediately went to her to see if she was okay. Practice was not stopped. The director didn't check to see about her well-being, but he gave a speech saying how they were supposed to be more professional and wait till the performance was over before asking if their member was okay. I understand the professionalism, I do, but this is children we're talking about. Currently, right now, I do not believe that this leader that we have in front of the choir is the right person to deal with kids. My daughter came home frustrated the other day, or during the first performance that they were rehearsing for, because it was so chaotic during that first meeting. It was his very first meeting. He had to leave and to go outside because he had his own performance that he had to get ready for and to practice for. Yesterday, he changed the entire process in terms of how they get ready for dress rehearsal. He moved the girls' dressing room because he needed to get into the office because he himself needed to prepare for the rehearsal practice. He needed to get dressed. He needed to be ready. Our old director wasn't part of it. They weren't on stage. But this person chose that he needed to be on stage and he moved the girls somewhere else. In closing, there needs to be some type of realignment within the leadership of the choir because this is not working for students or parents. If we don't address a resolution or have a resolution soon, this once highly touted program could come to a halt next year. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right, good evening, board. I see a couple familiar faces, Mr. O'Neill, Mr. Hoshi. I'm going to speak on my personal experience with Mr. Christopher Brush. My name's Robert Ely III. I'm a parent of a student at Kennedy High School in the choir program. I'm here tonight because I'm deeply concerned about the conduct of Mr. Brush and the message his actions send to the students and families. My daughter was instructed to miss an academic class in order to attend a choir rehearsal. Let me be clear, no student should be placed in a position where they're expected to sacrifice a scheduled core academic instruction for an unplanned elective rehearsal. If there's a policy that allows this, parents deserve to know it. If there's not, then this should never have happened. When I contacted Mr. Brush to address this concern, I expected a professional discussion. Instead, I experienced behavior that I found unacceptable. Mr. Brush became visibly angry, red in the face, and shaking, and told me that my daughter needed to speak to him directly, and there was nothing further as parents to discuss. Okay? I was later informed that the administration at Kennedy High School had already spoken with Brush that morning, and the issue was resolved. Okay? But when I talked to him that evening, he decided to escalate it and get angry at me for some reason. That response is alarming. Parents are not optional participants in their children's education. We are legal guardians and primary advocates. To suggest that there is nothing further to discuss with us is dismissive and inappropriate. More concerning is the idea that the child should be left to navigate conflict with an adult authority figure without parental involvement. This is not about choir. This is about professionalism, boundaries, and respect. No student should feel pressured to miss academic instruction. No parent should be shut out of a conversation about their own child. No educator should respond to reasonable questions with visible anger and hostility. Apology, I'm going to go over just a little bit. I'm asking this board to do three things. First, clarify and publicly communicate the policy regarding students being pulled from academic classes for rehearsals or elective activities. Second, reaffirm that parents have the right to be included in discussions regarding their child's academic decisions. Third, review expectations for professional conduct and parent communication to assure that no other family experiences this type of interaction. Our district often speaks of partnership, transparency, and student-centered decisions. I'm asking that those words be reflected in action. And you might want to take a moment to go over the AUHSD Code of Ethics for all employees. Just a quick reminder, the Anaheim Union High School District expects its employees to maintain the highest ethical standards, behave professionally, follow district policies and regulations, abide by state and federal laws, and exercise good judgment when interacting with students and members of the school community. Employee conduct should enhance the integrity of this district and the goals of the educational program. Each employee is expected to acquire the knowledge and skills necessary to fulfill his or her responsibilities and to contribute to the learning and achievement of district students. And for that, I'll
Thank you. I appreciate you all being here tonight and sharing your concerns. If we could have staff follow up on some of that. Thank you. I want to call up our next speaker, Masla.
Eje Kualitutaki, Eje meaning yes in the Tongva, Gabrielino, Yuto, Aztec, Nahuatl linguistic family of our ancestors, the Mexicas or Mexican Indians. I want to start a song and pray for our people that are being attacked by ICE and our students that protested by walking out and all over in Anaheim and all over across the U.S. and for our families, for our family that's in the corner in La Esquina, for that suicide that happened, and for the brothers that just spoke right now. We're living in hard times, and the best thing we can do is offer a song of the Yahi people here in a federally recognized tribe. Yahi-yo, 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 Yahi-yo. Chinich, creator, that is your name here on this land before the settler colonists came and stole the land and took the kids and put them in boarding schools. And in this time right now, ICE is acting just like the colonists, and I hope that when that time comes to voting out that name, that you hear nuestro llanto, Jessica Guerrero. Porque tú y yo tenemos cosas en común, somos mexicanos, chicanas, mexicoamericanos, y están atacando a nuestra gente. Some of the students wanted to come, but they're scared, the parents, porque ICE está deportando a mucha gente, matando a mucha gente. Y yo pienso que no es justo tener el nombre de una escuela llamado colonistas o colones, como muchos me han dicho también. Desde que llegó Hernán Cortés, cabeza de vaca, Juniper Serra, hicieron muchas cosas a nuestros niños, niñas y mujeres. Y ahora ICE está actuando así. So they're asking that we hopefully get heard, that we do change that name of the school to colonists. ICE is acting just like the colonists. If you've never taken a Native American history class or even an ethnic studies class or a Chicana study class, I encourage you to take one. And those that are watching, there is a petition and there's many signatures, about 12,000, and videos of many people of tribes, federally state recognized, including the Tongva or the Ahachiman, the state recognized tribes in Orange County that are fighting for federal recognition, that we not just get rid of the mascot, but that when I saw the paper, Home of the Colonists, we got to get rid of that. And on a good note, thank you guys for doing what you're doing. I like the Black History Parade. It was good seeing you, Aunt Trejo, Dr. Paulo Macalas, Jessica Guerrero. It shows that black and brown unity and solidarity. And also the last thing is I saw a mural, a beautiful mural right in front of Anaheim High School. It's a, she played softball for Anaheim High School. The only thing we don't like is the term colonist on her shirt. But I know it takes time to educate the lady that owns that, it was the mother that owns that tax place. And the other thing was, let's keep doing the right thing for our people. And yes, the presentation, we were part of that. And yes, culture was the first thing that came to my mind. That's that's very important. So let's keep working, and slowly we can understand our pain. Thank you. Gracias.
Thank you. Next speaker is Roberto Garcia.
Evening, board members and superintendent. My name is Roberto Garcia, and I am an AUHSD alum. There is a serious gap between this district's financial priorities and the actual safety of our students. We hear a lot about the AUHSD way and the district's commitment to social emotional learning and this whole child approach. But for many families, the reality on campus is very different from the mission statements we see in the budget reports. According to the district's own financial records, over $120 million was spent on school climate and services for high-need students. This is a massive investment of public money. However, despite these millions of dollars, bullying, harassment, and self-harm remain a constant threat to our children. We see beautiful sports field being built, new HVAC systems being installed, but we have to ask, where is the investment in human infrastructure of safety? Why is that with so much money being poured into wellness, students are still falling through the cracks? Spending money on a problem is not the same thing as solving it. We are calling for more than just a list of dollars spent. We are calling for an honest evaluation of these programs. If the district is spending millions more than budgeted on school climate, why are students still reporting that they don't feel safe? Why are red flags still being missed? It is not enough to say that the money was allocated. We need to know if it was actually working at the school site level. A program that receives millions in funding but fails to stop life-altering bullying is not a success. It is a system that needs to be completely re-evaluated. Our children cannot wait for another 5-year plan, another bond measure. They need to be safe now. I am asking this board to look past the spreadsheets, look at the students. We need a system that prioritizes real-time protection over press releases and budget lines. Our community deserves to know that when we invest in safety, our children actually come home safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Dulce Sotelo. And I believe she has left. Okay. Seeing no other speakers, we will move on. Thank you everyone for coming tonight for public comments. 11.1 we already did. I will move. Thank you, Carl. Moving on to item number 10, Superintendent and Staff Report. Dr. Freak.
Thank you, Madam President. Just a couple quick updates. As you may recall, next Tuesday, the 17th of February, will be our meet and greet with Madam President Guerrero and myself as the new superintendent. We're also going to have members of cabinet there to talk about the district office, how we support the work happening at the sites within each educational division. Starts at 6 o'clock p.m. in the La Palma room. So again, I'd love to have the public there, families, communities be a part of that event. Also, want to note that February 21st is going to be a very busy day for our district. We have an esports tournament on the 21st of February at Catella High School from 10 in the morning till about 4 p.m. It is our first big sports tournament at the Catella facility, so we're real excited to be a part of that. Also on the 21st, we have a powwow at Magnolia High School. It actually goes from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., but it says grand entry at 12 p.m. But we're going to do this in partnership with one of our partners that we brought in, the Sacred Path of Orange County Community. So we're excited to partner with them and do this work at Magnolia High School. And lastly, on the 21st, we also have the Tet Parade, which is a celebration of our Vietnamese culture. So I know a number of our board members have participated in that in the past. We'll have a presence there as well. So just want to make sure you're aware of the Tet Parade taking place on that Saturday as well. So if people are looking for things to do on Saturday, we have some options for you. And then the last thing I want to share is just a best of luck to our athletes. As you heard from Dr. Sasai's presentation today, we have a number of our athletes getting ready to head into CIF competition across our district, both in boys and girls wrestling. We have in boys and girls soccer, along with boys and girls basketball, and then our girls water polo. So we're really excited about our athletics program. We will be bringing a presentation to the board in August at the start of next week with Jeff Russell, where we're talking more about our collective athletic program as a whole. We have things kind of mapped out, but I just wanted to highlight our athletes because they're getting ready to go into competition. And of course, it's also the beginning of our spring season. It's hard to believe. So baseball, girls softball, things like that are about ready to kick off. So just want to say that. I know Amy has an update with a few additional opportunities for you to attend as well.
Ms. Kwan.
So I do have a couple of highlights. While there's a lot of things going on in Ed Division, I'll share a couple. We heard tonight a little bit about the Korean dual language immersion program that it'll be the first year articulating up from the Anaheim Elementary School District into AUHSD. Director Diana Fujimoto, Executive Director Carlos Hernandez, and I will be at Jefferson Elementary School on February 19th to engage with the community at Jefferson so that we can talk about our commitment in sustainability and maintaining a high quality program in KDLI. We got to talk a lot about LCAP tonight, but I also want to give a special recognition to Eric Greenwood and his team for the outstanding work with the data visualization. There's lots of ways that we can consume it, and Eric and his team has been so flexible in thinking about thoughtful ways that we can make it really accessible for us and inform decisions in how we serve our students. Dr. Hernandez over at Student Services is in the thick of overseeing our transfer process right now to support equitable access to our families. Spring season is also our open house season, so I want to recognize our school teams who are opening up their campuses right now and invite the community to come celebrate our students at all of our schools. I also want to recognize Lauren Klatzker and Amanda Bean, whose leadership in master scheduling and expanding supports with students with disabilities was recognized at the California State Board of Education meeting in January. And that recognition also reflects the dedication of our site teams whose daily work ensures that our students with disabilities are served through our master schedule work. And of course, in honor of Black History Month, I want to recognize Jayette Hightower and Carlo Davis for their leadership in creating the Social Justice Collective lessons throughout the district, which will culminate in AUHSD's 5th annual Black History Celebration, February 27th at 6 p.m. at Kennedy Performing Arts Center. And lastly, second semester marks the start of the final semester of the class of 2026 students. As they began this celebratory last semester, I want to share that on March 2nd, they are going to take over medieval times, and over 1,000 of our seniors will be there for a fun opportunity to build a community and celebrate together. So if anyone would like to come and chaperone, you are able to connect with Paul Shalinsky, our ASB director, who will be happy to have you there to chaperone with him and our students at medieval times.
Thank you. Mr. Jackson. Dr. Nguyen.
Yes, so just wanted to make an announcement. I think we made one last time already, but the Booster Club training will be on Wednesday, March 11th, presented by our external auditor, Andrew Park. So it's from 6 to 8 p.m. at the La Palma room. So please do RSVP so we can have enough handouts for everybody. An email was sent out on February 5th, but we'll make sure to send out another one so that this will be a good reminder for you to sign up. So please make every effort to be there. We will try to do some other combination, but really I think it will be good for everybody to come to show up together, so then if there's questions, we can all ask at the same time and hear the responses at the same time. So we had amazing turnout last year, and so we'd love to do the same thing again this year. So we will all be there, entire team will be there, and we would love to see you there as well. Thank you.
The school site admin knows about it so that they can get the word out?
So everything has been sent out to the entire district already.
Okay.
So, but we'll definitely make sure that, all the sites are informed again. But a district-wide email was sent out on February 5th, and then we will work with with John Batista, our public information officer, to send another email out so that people can be reminded to sign up. I know maybe they saw it, but haven't signed up yet. But we would love to make sure everybody's there and have enough the pamphlet for everybody as well.
Okay.
Nancy, are you encouraging folks that have already gone through the training to come again?
Every year. So we are now requiring training every year. So Joe's done a great job. Thank you so much, Joe. There's a lot of just different groups are struggling to come in like here and there. And so the requirement is every year you come to a training so that your club can be certified and then, on our behalf. So it is critical that at least one person, I'm not saying that your entire board has to be there, just at least one person to come. And so it can be anybody from that organization.
Okay.
If there are any questions too, contact your school sites as well. A lot of them, they have the information as well. And we do work with everybody and want to make sure that that they're all there, because I think it's very important to be in the same room to hear the same information. I think we'll make sure, and we'll send out calendar invites to everybody who wants to come as well. But
And
just
to
to make
offer
sure.
support. That's what it's all about.
There's just a lot of different things, and some people say, oh, how come this one is done this way or that's done a different way? And I think it's also good to have different groups talk to each other, and that's one of the reasons why the in-person meeting was very helpful. We did last year, did a virtual as well as an in-person, and we actually had more people that show up in person. And the people that was at the virtual meeting also came to the in-person training as well. They said, it went really fast, so I just want to hear it again. So I think, like with everything, it takes about 7 times, I believe, the research said that 7 times to really understand. And so we want to be there. We'll make it fun. So I mean, our auditor, he is very, very fun for that kind of thing. So I know auditor is fun. It doesn't really coincide, but he's true great entertainment. So we'll make sure it's fun. So yeah.
Well, I think it's an opportunity for people to think if they're struggling or if they're doing things right, to get the affirmation from that. But I remember volunteering and I didn't know anything that I was doing. So I think this is a great opportunity for people to come in and get some support, and then like you said, to talk with other booster groups and learn something new.
And if there's any questions, they can, feel free to ask, the group, and we're all going to be there as well. Our entire team will be there as well, so they can talk to us as well. So, I mean, we'll love to meet everybody at the meet and greet, but if you can come, please feel free to come meet us on March 11th as well.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for doing that.
Yes, thank you for organizing that.
Thank you, staff.
Mr. Dohler, thank you. Okay. Now going back to 11.2, resolution number 2025, State Allocation Board and School Facility Program Beyond Bond Authority Acknowledgement.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, this is a,
I'm sorry, I
Trustee
wasn't fast
Ranataro?
enough. So my understanding is these are the schools that these projects have already been done. You're now asking the state to reimburse
Dr. Nguyen.
with the extra funds, so you'll be
Correct.
in line to receive it if they so.
Yes, correct. Yes.
If they so inclined.
Correct. So, so that's our goal, right? We continue to apply for all the different things, and that's why and we do want to thank the voters for passing the bond,
Yes.
because with that, we're able to continue to apply for state matching funds as well. And so thank you so much for Patty and her team to submit all the information. I mean, we're able to do it internally, so that's amazing. Not a lot of districts are able to do that. And so we have gotten a lot of state matching funds. And also with the support from our community, we're able to have the bond dollar to match with the state funding as well.
All right, thank you.
Awesome. Any other comments or questions? This is a roll call vote. Trustee O'Neill?
Aye.
Trustee McCauliffe?
Aye.
Trustee Hoshi?
Aye.
Trustee Randall Trejo?
Aye.
And I vote aye. It's a 5-0. 11.3, resolution number 2025, whiteout tobacco / control alt delete nicotine Nicotine Week 2026, honoring February 17th to the 20th.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any comments or questions?
Yes.
Trustee Hoshi.
You know, again, I know we don't have any two-pay advisors, but again, since we are a secondary school district, I really want us to think about maybe some things or how we could partner with like the health careers or health clubs or science clubs regarding this, instead of just like having a red ribbon week type thing with a pencil and a thing. Do something that's really more relevant to high school kids and junior high kids. And if we could put our brains together and think about that. I also know that we are piloting vape sensors at Cypress and Lower High School, and I know that we're going to have a report on that. So
Nice.
I'm looking forward to that.
Nice.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions? Oh, Ms. Kwan, thank you.
I just
Please
want to clarify a couple things. We actually still have the two-pay advisors at the school site. With the cut in funding, we used to have a dedicated full-time two-pay advisor at the district office coordinating, and that's where we reduced first to protect the school sites. And I believe Magnolia High School has built in some vape centers as well, but Cypress and Loera had the first round, so we'll continue to have the reports on Cypress and Loera, but Magnolia has them as well.
So did you say Magnolia has vape sensors now? Is it the same company that Loera
Nope.
and...
I'm kidding. Nope, they are not the same.
Mr. Saldivar, thank you.
So I believe Magnolia has it built into the new building, not the rest of the campus.
Gotcha.
But not the same app, not the same company, not the same services. So the data being collected is with the Halo app sensors, which we're piloting at Loera and Cypress. We have asked for data from both in terms of first semester data. I know Dr. Hernandez, is he here? Oh, he just stepped out. I know we just touched base on this the other day to put something together for us to present on first semester data, but it's been very positive in terms of what we're seeing. So we'll have that ready to go.
The reason why I ask that again is because I like to see things that are systemic.
Yeah.
And if we're going with another company that doesn't offer the same services, but yet we find that Loera and Cypress, we like that company.
Absolutely.
And I want to make sure that those services are also replicated.
Sure. Yeah, we are for sure collecting data on Loera and Cypress. Magnolia, we just found out that they had them built into their new building, so we need to look into that.
Thank you.
Right, but we'll definitely look into it.
Thank you.
And Amy, maybe we could find out what is happening at each site. I know there are campaigns, and some, celebrate this all year. Celebrate is not a good word for this, but they campaign all year to do this. But maybe for our purposes, just to get that information and see what's really being done at each site. And then not about the vape, but about the campaign.
The tobacco,
yeah,
week, yes,
vape.
yeah.
Thank you.
This is a roll call vote. Trustee O'Neill.
Aye.
Trustee McCauliffe.
Aye.
Trustee Hoshi.
Aye.
Trustee Randall Trejo.
Aye.
And I vote aye. That's 5-0. 11.4, resolution number 2025, Career and Technical Education Month.
So
Second.
moved.
You. Any comments or questions? This is another roll call vote. Trustee O'Neill.
Aye.
Trustee McCauliffe.
Aye.
Trustee Hoshi.
Aye.
Trustee Randall Trejo.
Aye.
And I vote aye. That's 5-0. 11.5, resolution number 2025, National Parent/Teacher Association Founders Day.
So moved.
Second.
And I want to thank Laura Allen for being here tonight. Very excited to honor National Parent and Teacher Association Founders Day again. And this is a roll call vote as well. Trustee O'Neill.
Aye.
Trustee McCauliffe.
Aye.
Trustee Hoshi.
Aye.
Trustee Randall Trejo.
Aye.
And I vote aye. That's 5-0. 11.6, resolution number 2025, Black History Month.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions?
Looking forward to the celebration, and I want to encourage everybody that is listening to attend. It's going to be at Kennedy Performing Arts Center on the 27th at 7 o'clock? 6 o'clock. Thank you, Mr. O'Neill. And they're going to have some entertainment there and so forth. Ava,
yes.
that you heard
We got
tonight
a
is going to be
sneak
singing
peek
again.
tonight. Yes.
So.
Perfect. This is another roll call vote. Trustee O'Neill.
Aye.
Trustee McCullis.
Aye.
Trustee Hoshi.
Aye.
Trustee Randall Trejo.
Aye.
And I vote aye. That's 5-0. 11.7, resolution number 2025, Read Across America 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Seeing none, this is a roll call vote. Trustee O'Neill.
Aye.
Trustee McCullis.
Aye.
Trustee Hoshi.
Aye.
Trustee Randall Trejo.
Aye.
And I vote aye. That's 5-0. 11.8, resolution number 2025, Preserve Music in Our Schools Month.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Seeing Trustee Hoshi, sorry.
Mr. Belsky, are we going to have a list of when our bands and our choirs are performing at these upcoming festivals in March? Okay.
Yes.
Because I just want to make sure that parents know, as well as like music lovers know, since it is Music in the Schools Month. So I want people to feel that they're welcome to attend those things and watch their kids.
Thank you. This is another roll call vote. Trustee O'Neill.
Aye.
Trustee McCullis.
Aye.
Trustee Hoshi.
Aye.
Trustee Randall Trejo.
Aye.
And I vote aye. That's 5-0. 11.9, resolution number 2025, Arts Education Month.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Seeing none, this is a roll call vote. Trustee O'Neill.
Aye.
Trustee McCullis.
Aye.
Trustee Hoshi.
Aye.
Trustee Randall Trejo.
Aye.
And I vote aye. That's 5-0. 11.10, resolution number 2025, Women's History Month.
So moved. Second.
Any comments or questions? All right, this is a roll call vote. Trustee O'Neill.
Aye.
Trustee McCullis.
Aye.
Trustee Hoshi.
Aye.
And Trustee Randall Trejo.
Aye.
And I vote aye. That is a 5-0.
I would just like to say,
yes.
I would really love if we could really try to designate a place for all these resolutions. They're very important. And I know we just kind of sound flip up here that we're just, going through and voting for them, but these are really important. You saw the athletic trainers here and how proud they were to, to be a part of that and accept that. But these are really meaningful resolutions for our district, for all involved. And so I just want to make sure that these are really a prominent place at every site, so folks know.
And
Yes.
as
How
a
proud
as a
we are.
reminder as well, they are all posted on a dedicated webpage on the website.
Yes,
so we
thank
do
you
do
for
that.
that.
Yes.
Appreciate
I know John posts on social media too. I
Yes.
think too. Yes, thank you, John.
Well, maybe just a reminder at principals meetings for like the athletic trainers and just like the counselors, just to make sure people feel seen and heard at their work site
Yes.
and appreciate
you.
it.
Moving on to 11.12, Board Policy, Multiple Policies, First Reading, and this is an information item. 11.13, Agreement, Coldwell and Gerber Public Finance.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions?
Yeah.
Trustee Randall Trejo?
Why do we need this company to go over this? If we need to raise the fees, why can't we just do that on our own? What is this company going to do for us?
So they have to meet certain requirements, and so what we have to do is hire them to prepare a report. So every 2 years, the state allocation board they do a study, and we also have to do another study to prove that we do need to raise the rates as well. So it's a process. We do it every 2 years. We are at the state allocation board that's allowed to collect that rate. And so we also collect the fees for all our feeder districts as well. So it's not just for us, we also collect for them as well.
So
for
we
that.
have to, this is required for us to do
Yeah,
this.
so it's something that, so you have to justify, it's a justification for us in order to raise the rates. And so it's something that, everything's cost is going up to, and then we use it for the programs that we can. And so we do, and then you also see that we also submit the report to the board as well. So you can see that on the yearly basis as well.
Okay. Just trying to save some pennies.
Yes, thank you so much for that. But yeah, we wouldn't be spending money on something that we're not required to do. So,
Okay.
Yes.
It's a big penny, yeah. All right. 'Cause, I mean, I just felt like when I read this, it's like if there's a need, and I mean, we could do our own study. We know if everything's going up, we do have to raise our prices a little bit. I mean, we don't do a lot. We try to stay fair and equitable. So that's in the spirit of my asking.
right. So in the event that it's possible I can't remember when, but maybe there's like a couple years that the state didn't raise their rates. So when they don't raise the rate, then we don't have to do anything because the rates stay the same.
Right.
But if they do increase their rate, then we have to do a justification study. So that's what's called for that.
All right. Thank
Yeah,
you.
and when we also collect for our feeder districts too. So something to consider as well. So, thank you.
Very good. Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor, vote aye. Aye. That's a 5-0. 11.14, ratification leaseback agreement, construction 1-1 Corporation South Junior High School improvement.
So moved.
Second?
Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
5-0. 11.15, ratification leaseback agreement, Miller Construction, Gilbert High School site improvements.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor, vote aye. Aye. It's 5-0. 11.16, piggyback bids purchased through public corporation or agency.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor, vote aye. Aye. It's 5-0. 11.17, assignment of agreement, Flex TG LLC.
So moved.
Second?
Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor, vote aye. Aye.
Aye.
5-0. 11.18, contract Air Supply Tools, Inc.
So moved.
Second?
Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
It's 5-0. 11.19, contract Complete Office LLC.
So moved?
So moved. Second.
Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor, vote aye.
Aye. Aye.
5-0. 11.20, award of bid.
So moved?
Second.
Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor, vote aye.
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 It's 5-0. 11.21, memorandum of understanding, MOU East-West players.
So moved?
Second.
Thank you. And I did have a question on this. Ms. Kwan, if you can share a little bit about this agreement and who is participating, or whoever.
I will actually invite Diana Fujimoto to come up and share.
Thank you.
Yes, hi, good evening. So for the East-West Players Theater production, they are going to be coming to Anaheim. We have 2 shows that are being offered. It was offered for our ethnic studies teachers who've gone through the training, as well as our performing arts. We have 2 sessions. I believe about 750 students are going to be attending the first show in the morning, and then the second show we have about 350 students. And I believe almost all of our high schools will be represented in part of that audience. So close to about over 1,000 students will be engaged in that production.
Nice.
How are we paying for the buses, or is that on their routes that day, or how?
So it would be considered considered a field trip, and so sites would provide transportation, so it's coming out of their site budgets.
Actually, I'm covering the cost of the ethnic studies, for the ethnic studies students to go, and then Prop 28 funds, I believe, are covering the cost of the transportation for students in the performing arts.
Is it just ethnic studies classes that are invited, or
yes,
like, we have like these, because this is TAM Trans.
Yes.
I was thinking maybe some of the groups that have lion dancers or something might be
for this for this particular one, because it is tied to the ethnic studies curriculum, so it was a targeted effort, since they have and the connection with the Asian American Education Project. So we opened it up to that group.
Okay, and do you need chaperones?
You're more than welcome to attend.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
Absolutely. Extend the invitation to all the board members.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Diana.
Any other comments or questions? Okay. All in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
Aye. That's 5-0. Thank you, Diana. 11.22 Agreement Ambassadors Media Group LLC.
So moved. Second.
Any comments or questions? I had a comment or a question. Can you please let us know who is participating in this agreement?
Yes, Scott Denton Rendell will come up and let us know.
Yeah, thanks for the question. So to begin with, it's Savannah High School that's participating in essentially a pilot of the program this spring. They're looking to recruit about 125 students through their counseling teams for the program. And then we'll grow from there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So all the students will come from Savannah High School?
From Savannah. They were the first to kind of raise their hand to participate. It hasn't been widely publicized yet, just pending the agreement, but going into next year, we'll publicize it through our community schools coordinators with our counselors, and then broaden the participation from there.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Will there be a system in place? I see it says this focuses on helping students overcome unresolved hurt and pain, manage their emotions, and turn negative experiences into motivation for positive action, all within a safe space. So are we going to have our staff there as well to, if a student gets triggered by maybe something that is presented, that we have the support staff there for our students? And is this during the school hours?
Right. So the kickoff is during school hours. The additional coursework is after school hours, but we'll have counselors participating in the sessions. They'll be present for every session that the company is providing. Yeah.
Any other questions? Thank you, Scott.
Yeah,
all in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's 5-0. 11.23 Agreement Laundry Up LLC.
So moved. Second. I
Any
just want
comments,
to know
yes.
who found this and
Yes.
how did this come to be?
That was my question. I want to thank our community schools team for continuously looking for resources and services for our families.
Yeah, and I want thank you, and I want to thank our Anaheim Elementary teammates. I attend the community schools steering committee for Anaheim Elementary, and they have partnered with Laundry Up Services. And so when we were in the room, they were sharing what they're doing to help support their community. I'm like, whoa, that's beautiful. We've been trying to find something like that that's mobile, potentially for those families that can't make it to a location. Very intentional about the families that we're trying to serve and the students in terms of those needs. And we're starting with, sort of a pilot, if you will, 8,900, I think is what the total is, to see how far that goes, to see if that's the right amount, to see how many, students that we can serve. How do we do it in a respectful, honorable way where we're inviting them in and then helping them with those, the clothes.
So we're working through our community schools or FACES, or?
Yes, both. And
Okay.
staff that recognize that there's a need of one of our students. And again, doing it in a very respectful way. We're inviting you for this service, contacting your families, see how we can help support you. vouchers. There's ways to do that. Here's a voucher, and there's a couple locations, but also there's a mobile pickup service. So yeah, all hands on deck in terms of finding our students, connecting with our students that we know are in those groups, and then also whoever is in need.
Bravo to everyone.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
All in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
It's 5-0. 11.14 agreements, Cypress High School Show Choir.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor vote aye.
Aye.
It's 5-0. 11.25 agreements, Kennedy Theater Program Spring Musical.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor vote aye.
Aye.
It's 5-0. 11.26 agreement, Dustin Johnson.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor vote aye.
Aye.
5-0. 11.27 agreement, Dr. Lawrence V. Fizz.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor vote aye.
Aye.
5-0. 11.28 agreement, San Jose State University Clinical Student Placement Agreement.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions?
I just have a quick question. San Jose State, right? For students to meet their fieldwork requirements, we have students coming from San Jose State to do their observation hours? Question mark?
Mr. Jackson.
That's kind
or
of far.
Dr. Freed.
Virtual? I mean, I'm cool with it. I mean, it's just kind of, I'm just curious. Like, are they driving from San Jose State?
Dr. Freed.
Okay, no worries. I mean, I know that at Cal State LA, we do online observation hours and student teaching. So
Diana Fujimoto.
So we actually have several universities, and they do the virtual options for their teacher ed program.
So virtual.
The teacher ed program may be virtual, but they may live in this area, and so they may do the in-person.
Got it.
observations.
Thanks for that update.
Thank you for clarifying. All in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
5-0. That moves us into consent calendar. Any members wishing to pull?
Yes.
12, 7, 8, 9.
12, 7, 8, 9,
14 and 22.
14, 22.
Motion for the balance.
So moved. Second.
All in favor, vote aye. Aye. All right. 12.7, 8, and 9 together.
Yep. So moved.
Second.
All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Nays? Abstentions?
Aye.
That's 401. 12.14.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions?
Yes. There was a time where we had some questions about this program and connecting with them. Have they improved? How are we following up with that? How are we monitoring that?
Yeah, so Mr. Hernandez is going to come up and talk, but what I would say that they do have a new CEO.
Okay.
And I know I met with him while I was still assistant superintendent, but he has been very proactive in reaching out.
Okay.
But I know we have been engaging with them to
I
find ways.
accept that.
Yeah, the healthy tension in terms of getting them into the room, and just sharing what the community schools approach is all about. It's one community, and so how do we create systems of support where we focused a lot and heavily on what's going on in the classroom every day, every period, and then also how are we doing that support and extending the learning to, after school, and the weekends, and so. YMCA is a longstanding partner, 15 years.
Yeah.
And so, but we've gotten used to maybe complacent about some services. It shouldn't feel like we're babysitting. It should feel like we're uplifting the students, supporting their needs, also giving them some snacks, but also what are we doing to support the social emotional support. So the healthy tension is we're looking at the data that they're looking at to make sure that the schools and aligning themselves, or they're aligning themselves with the schools and the assets and the needs that they have and they're providing. So it's not business as usual, but certainly the healthy tension in a loving, compassionate way, because they've been part of our community for a long time.
Good.
Fantastic.
Mr. Hernandez, yeah, so we are investing over $1 million for this. And I thank you for providing the information regarding, I was wondering with some of these activities, is there a culminating event that shows kids going through maybe a STEM thing or any demonstrations to show that they've learned, or maybe even cooking classes?
Yeah,
that we
yeah.
can,
The culminating projects happen across the year, so it just depends on the school and the project. And so, I'd love to invite you all. And once Teresa, who's leading the work, and Christina Casas, an alumni of ours, leading the work, we can invite you to those culminating events, so you can.
So
see
there's
it in
different
action.
programs at different schools.
Yes, and it all depends on, again, those assets, those needs, the survey that the students and families took, and then what kinds of activities they want to establish, clubs and after school programming.
You can let them know the board's interested in coming to.
Gosh, what is Dale doing correctly? They have like almost twice as much, 421 kids.
Did you say Dale?
Yes.
Dale, yeah, and they have additional funding because the numbers are up. So they received additional funding from the state for those funds because of student enrollment. So yeah, great to hear that their enrollment is up, and the need is there, but also the activities are
I guess making that connection with those kids, because I think we could elevate some of these other school sites and let parents know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments, questions? Seeing none, all in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's 5-0. 12.22.
So moved.
Second.
Comments, questions?
Which sites will have these tree machines? Do we know yet? Is this the first time we're utilizing this, or I haven't heard about this before?
No, we've actually had it for a couple years. I think
Okay.
Savannah was the first one to have one,
Okay.
and now we have Catella and Sycamore that have one as well.
Okay,
Yes.
so there's 3.
I think it came from a civic engagement project, right, with Sycamore Junior High School. I think.
I love that.
Yes, it was so student led.
Actually, Sycamore was
Student-
the first.
I
one.
think Sycamore, yeah. That's the only reason.
Sorry.
Yes.
It was Sycamore that was first to have one, and then Savannah, and then Catella.
I think the students came to the board meeting and we passed it.
Okay, that's great.
Yes.
We listened. All right.
Yeah, we did.
Thank you.
I love that. Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's 5-0. Moving on to Board of Trustees report. Trustee O'Neill.
Well, thank you. I attended the OCD budget review down at the district office, county office, excuse me. And one takeaway that I didn't like to hear, and that is that our projection for enrollment decline is going to probably be until 2034. So it's much further than what we have been talking about over the last few years. So something to be looking, I don't know if I could say looking forward to, but looking to. Attended a couple of open houses. Attended the first LCAP meeting, and it was mentioned about 300 plus attendees. So I thought it was fantastic, that, and along with the presentation tonight. So thank you so much for that. That was very well done. District Choral Showcase and the District Honor Band, both have put on very well. Enjoyed their presentation. The kids did a great job. Servathon was very minor because I attended the Orangeview Western ribbon cutting, which took up a little bit of time, so I couldn't get out to other schools, but I did get to one school along the way. And graduation meeting yesterday, very well done. A lot of wheels and balls up in the air, wheels turning, and Amanda has her hands on it, and she's doing a great job on doing that. And yet last night attended a ROP budget meeting. ROP board meeting, which went very long, and therefore I didn't get to the Dale open house. So sorry, Dale. That's it.
Trustee McCullough.
All right, January 20th, I did attend the ASTA rep meeting. January 21, I attended Kennedy High School's open house. January 23rd, Gilbert Coffee with the principal. And then I also attended the Cook Auditorium reopening. And I just briefly want to share that I did cry that night. It was probably one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen to see in our most oldest historic building, and the reopening of it, to see all of our students sing together in unity. It was just beautiful, right? It inspired me more to work harder and fight for all of our students and families so that we could all be united like we were that night. So I just wanted to share, that was probably one of the most beautiful moments I've seen. The concluding song where everyone sang. Beautiful. Okay, so going on to, where did I leave off on? January 24th, I did attend the ribbon cutting ceremony at Orange View Western. January 25th, I attended Savannah High School's Color Guard Showcase, and where our students from Savannah, Western, and Kennedy performed their color guard. And let me just say how amazingly proud I was of our parent boosters. I mean, some parents did a lot, some mediocre, some did amazing. Like, I just saw parent groups that came out with, like, literally entire stages, like, and they were all, you know, working together collaboratively. And I utilized that moment not just to watch our students, but also to ask parents, tell me about color guard, tell me about, you know, what, and then our boosters, like all of them, and our Savannah boosters, amazing, you know, the fundraising they did at the site. It was just an amazing event. And then January 28th, I did attend Savannah High School's open house. With regards to the open house, I love the structures that we're doing, where we have, you know, like departments, you know, sharing all their best practices. You know, I'm very, very impressed with 99.9% of all the departments that presented. And huge shout out to Mr. Villa's Chicano Studies class. Your students, y'all did amazing with your I Am Joaquin modern version of the poetry. I promised I'd shout that out because y'all did amazing, and all of our students did amazing, from our performers to our student ambassadors. I also attended that same day the OC SBA Legislative Budget and Seminar. February 3rd, I attended Loera High School's basketball versus Bolsa. So congratulations, Loera High School's league champions, boys basketball league champions. I did attend the Coffee with Principal with Cambridge Virtual Academy on February 3rd. And then it was just an honor to march with our AUHSD students and faculty and board members at the OC Black History Parade this last Saturday, February 11th. I did do like I said, every month I will be going to different high school sites throughout the year, and then junior high next. I did go to Hope. What a beautiful space. Thank you so much to the principals for showing me around. They even did a presentation for me. Like right when I got there, they had a full on, like, you don't have to do that. I just want to be present and see what's going on in sites. But thank you so much. I learned a lot, and I even ran into a few old friends that I actually went to church with. So it was nice to see them who still work there. Truly a family and a community there at Hope. So thank you so much. Also, I did get to tour. So thank you, Principal Pooley, for showing me all around Magnolia High School. Amazing, that new building. Wow. I got to actually go into the server rooms. Like, wow. Oh, man. I'm talking about 21st century learning. Wow. And then, of course, the agro.
You didn't touch anything.
Huh? Oh, I did. Ooh. Sorry, public. Oops. And then yesterday I attended Dale Junior High's open house. Amazing job. Just great that we have them spread out so we can go to all the open houses. I love that. And that concludes my report. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Trustee Hoshi?
On the 16th, the day after our board meeting, I went to the boys basketball senior night at Cypress High School. On Saturday, I went to the Pongo Language Festival, and actually it's the Tamil language that's in Buena Park. And I got to see a lot of my Cypress parents there. They were like, "Were you there on last Saturday?" That same day, we had want to give kudos to Mark Slevko for the Cypress Athletes Hall of Fame that they had for a lot of people who went on to play professional sports. First time they did it, it's like their Hall of Fame. I went to the Kennedy Expo on the 21st. On the 22nd, the ethnic studies class at Cypress High School had author Marie Chan go and Mamie takes a stand. And so that same day, Jaron Duran from the Boston Red Sox was at the school site, and I got to meet him and see the work that he's doing. And the 22nd, we were all at the choir showcase, and it's really nice to see that we have really high quality. I just was looking at the speakers alone, not even seeing the subwoofers underneath the stage, but boy, when that thing's fully turned up, boy, I think people are gonna feel some really good music going on in there. But it was truly a nice dedication, and thank you to Lou Cray for his generous donation. One of the things that I really like is, I always talk to Dr. Freed about this. We don't go to events, we create experiences. And the thing is that I went to a concerto concert. I see this happening in music because it's the Olympics year and we are raising the bar for students. 6 students played like really high-level music accompanied by the orchestra for 3 of the numbers and 4 band numbers. And these things need to be recorded, just like our honor band. The performances, I think when we raise the bar for students, the students that accompanied them raised the bar to accompany them. And I just see that going on through music, and I just think now it's time to raise the bar in so many areas. So I really want to encourage us to do that. Cypress Got Talent on the 29th. It was fun seeing teachers also involved in that and singing and having background dancers. The third SRO, Sebastian Cortez, did a talk and about connection before correction. And he is trying to get something going on with Sergeant Conklin from the Anaheim PD, and just to align our SROs to really connect with kids. And he had stated, hey, you know, they tell us to connect with kids, but they're really not teaching us how to do that. So I really like the fact that he is stepping up and wants to do that work. And so I applaud him for that. And Coffee with the Principal, I went on the 5th at Lexington, and one of my favorite days is when we get to taste test the food. And I want to just give kudos to Orlando, our director of food services. I mean, you guys, the food, I'd pay a lot of money for this food. I mean, like, gosh, you know what I mean? This is free, and they're following nutrition guidelines. He and Tiffany, and then we, the parents, and myself, we got to be the first taste testers of the new pozole recipe. So they are serving that now. So Orlando, thank you so much.
Share.
I mean, you guys with lime and onions. I mean, I'd order that. I'll tell you what, okay? But I don't know if Orlando's favorite food is Uncrustables, so I don't know, but LCAP meeting 2, I was privy to be one of the board members to go to that, and again, I just really give kudos to the people that are doing the hard work and so forth, and enlisting more voices from our community, our students, and our parents. And I think, again, that's something we can always just keep on improving on, okay? Coffee with the Principal at Savannah, we had SRO Williams there, and then Lena, our DLAC representative, parent ambassador, she gave a little talk about Ramadan, which I thought was enlightening because a lot of our students celebrate that. And then, again, another example of raising the bar was our honor band. The people that went to that, I have never heard such difficult music played amongst our students in the 40 years I've been in this district. The musicianship, the artistry, from the directors, and they were both inspired. They were not just only good directors, but really got music out of the kids, but they were very inspiring human beings, and I just really appreciated that. Black History Parade, we had fun dancing in the street, and Brad Jackson was even dancing a little bit too. So, show choir preview night for Cypress High School. I'm really excited about their upcoming competition, which I'm going to go to, and I'm just really excited about that. Cypress High School also had a coffee with the principal and a whole hour talking about redesign. And I sat there just engaged the entire hour. I couldn't believe an hour went by because I think we fielded questions, or I didn't, I just listened. Principal Brown did that. Today, I was invited to celebrate the Counselors Week. Catella did something different. They celebrated it a week later, so they invited me to come and just celebrate with them, so it was a lot of fun just going there today. I want to invite all of you on February 24th to Cypress High School's Social Justice Day.
Oh, yeah.
I know a lot of you are invited, but it is just a school-wide thing going on in both gyms, in the theater, in the media center. We're going to have elected officials there giving some panel talks and so forth, and just sharing with students their journey and how they got interested in serving their communities. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Trustee Randall Trejo.
All right. I echo the sentiments of all my colleagues when they're talking about the wonderful experiences with our VAPA groups, the choir concert, and of course opening up Cook again was a delight. The honor band concert, the experience that the students had with those conductors was extremely meaningful, and it really showed with the audience too. And those kids only had four rehearsals. They were just out of sight. Yesterday at our ROP meeting, they highlighted their Employees of the Year. So shout out to Denise Foster. She's been with ROP for 40 years. She's at Magnolia now. She was previously at Savannah on the medical pathways. Tom Metcalf, who is administrator. Gregory Beers is a substitute, and I thought that was so cool that they honored him. I'm sure he's been at all of our sites, but to have somebody that would be so dedicated to come in, and he helps with, I think, 4 different pathways. He's that talented. So I thought that was really great to honor him. I also went to their spring in service development, professional learning development, and I took part in the process for all of our AUHSD instructors. Very meaningful work. CSBA Legislative Analyst Budget Meeting. I wish we had better news with that. Let's see. I also attended, along with the Black Cultural Parade, I attended the Affinity meeting with our Black parents. It was a small but mighty group. We discussed the upcoming performance, but we also discussed some talk about maybe bringing this to our students about and another school has curriculum, and they've done this work, but not using the N-word and hate speech. We all need, I think, to really, I think, invest in our students again. You know, we talk about what's happening now, and you know, we're trying to be polite in our verbiage when people are getting up and speaking, and what's happening now is absolutely unacceptable. The hate speech, the memes, this division. We can't even watch a Super Bowl and have people just watch it. Just watch it or don't watch it. We're getting offended at the most ridiculous thing. And I say this is all in an attempt to dehumanize people. And that has to stop. It's unacceptable. If you know people that are doing it and speaking it, now is the time to say, not around me. Now is the time to speak to your children and say, no, we are not going to be a family that does this. It has to stop. We got to call it out for what it is. We can't really be polite about it, and we can't excuse it anymore. It's harmful. It's hurting people. People are dying. So I am so glad that I serve in a district that honors differences and honors diversity. I am not ashamed to say that word, because that is our strength. Because we are building spaces where we are listening to each other, and that makes me so proud. And so honored to have been in the parade, and honored to look forward to going to our TET parade coming up. And you and I are going to see a former student next week. You didn't mention that. I mean, that's so proud. I mean, an alum that has gone through our schools, and
Kennedy alumni, Rudy Martinez from Kennedy High School. Yeah, he is going to be playing one of the leads in Man of La Mancha with Musical Theater West.
Yeah, so there's lots to celebrate in our district, lots of work to do. But again, we really have to, I think, when we know better, we do better. And when you see something, say something, please.
Thank you. I also had the opportunity to attend a few events, including the Cypress High School Inaugural Hall of Fame. I want to give a shout out to the athletic directors for organizing that, and to alumni of Cypress High School, Max Reza, who donated shoes to the basketball team that night. So they were looking very nice in their new shoes. Attended the LCAP kickoff open house at Kennedy High School, Savannah High School, and Dale Junior High School. Also attended the beautiful opening of Cook Auditorium. Very excited for that. I hadn't been there since I was a high school student. So it was great to see it's new and renovation. I want to thank again Congresswoman Lucrea for this earmark and the voters for passing Measure K. Also attended the ribbon cutting at Orangeview Western 712 School for their community school center, wellness room, and PIO patio. And then I had the opportunity to attend the Catella South Community Resource Fair that the community schools team organized along with Anaheim Council members Kristen Moss and Norma Campos-Kurtz. And I want to thank Assembly Member Evelina Valencia for making a donation to the athletics program during the event. Appreciate the support. Also had the opportunity to attend the excellent AUHSD honor concert band, beautifully done, and also join my colleagues for the Orange County Black History Parade. Want to give a shout out to all of our Black student unions that joined us, and the AUHSD Social Justice Collective made up of students and staff. It was a great day. I want to thank John for the playlist that we all danced to throughout the parade. Really lots of fun and celebration for Black History. And then I had the opportunity to attend the 20th anniversary of the Tiger Woods Learning Lab. I was alumni of the Tiger Woods Learning Lab when I was a student in elementary and high school, so it was great to see it's 20 years and still making an impact in the community. And then lastly, yesterday, Trustee Hoshi and I attended the Health Insurance Committee meeting. It was a long but very productive meeting. I want to thank everyone in the entire committee for being part of that and making sure that we continue to provide the best healthcare that we can for our staff. And then just a shout out, as was mentioned earlier by Dr. Freed, we are hosting a meet and greet on Tuesday, February 17th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. right here in the district office, La Palma room. We hope to see you all there. It will also be recorded if you're not able to make it. So thank you. And with that, I will go.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day tomorrow. Yes. Or Saturday Valentine's Day. Thank you for that. And then our next meeting will be March 5th, 2026. And with that, do I have any suggested agenda items? Seeing none. Trustee Hoshi.
I would like to have a discussion about community service hours. And bringing that back, maybe just to have a discussion and find out if we could bring, or just a suggestion.
Yeah, if we can
to see
maybe.
the pros and cons of that for a graduation requirement.
I think a healthy discussion.
Yeah, if we can provide a background, maybe in a Friday letter,
meeting or something.
and then we can work with our staff. Thank you. Anything else? Do I have a motion for adjournment?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.